a penis holder. Come on. Hello and welcome, everybody. It is Friday night, and here we are with another episode for you. Kind of going back to our little bit of our roots. I'm with Giovanni and Alex, of course. We're doing a double dip on the horror movies today. We're doing Talk to Me and Night Swim, which we're going to do Night Swim first for reasons that you guys understand. But hello, how is everybody? It's Friday night. We're live-ish. I'm still breathing, and that's why I say ish. How are you guys doing? What have you been up to?
I've been doing a lot of cleaning this week, but I'm doing well.
Hello, Jen. Hi, Jen. Have you been watching anything in particular other than these movies?
I have not.
The little bit of time that the wife and I got together so far, we did watch Big Bang Theory. We've been watching. That's kind of been our mainstay.
Okay.
I enjoy that show, but now they've introduced Blossom, and I kind of want to bash her and Sheldon's head in with a pipe.
But is it the first season that she's in, or has she been in there a couple seasons now?
Well, the first season she's in is the last episode of season 3, and I think we're in season 4, so it's like the first season of her being a mainstay.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, but there's only so much I could take of a show going, hey, they're autistic. It's too much.
There's something about that show that kind of gets me. Like, when they first introduce characters, they do present them as like they're like some kind of autistic or something's wrong with them, and then later on they make them normal.
No, Sheldon and her definitely are on a spectrum that even my off head can't comprehend. There's something there. They're definitely not right. I mean, even, oh God, Giovanni is in a weird... I told you not to hold the monkey paw, and he's muted. I'm assuming he's smiling at his wife, or he's being haunted by a spectral we can't fucking see right now.
He's like watching it go everywhere.
Right? It's fucking floating around him right now as we speak. Holy shit. I didn't make my wife watch these movies because they're definitely not her cup of tea.
Uh-huh.
I will say for sure, Talk to Me is the better of the two movies, in my opinion.
Johnny's still not here.
He's muted. I'm going to assume his wife is talking to him, or once again, we're going to see black water invade his nostrils, and he's going to be talking about swimming in a pool, and he feels great, but his wife's got to go. I'm assuming he can hear us. Or like I said, there's a spectral floating around. There's an aswan floating around his fucking apartment right now. A bag is going to quickly cut right. Wouldn't that be fucked up if out of nowhere it's just I lost all audio?
I lost all audio. Okay. All right.
If you need, it'll fuck up the screen, but whatever. If you need to drop out and drop in real quick, or it'd be funny if his headphones just died and he's got to plug them in.
Yeah, not charged. Yeah.
I can't hear anything. Let's see. I'm going to type it in. Plug in your headset.
He does have a plug.
He's just wildly lost right now.
Now he's checking him.
Testing.
1, 2, 3.
Also, I don't know if he's muted himself or it muted him either.
Or he deafened himself, maybe, yeah.
I mean, we could do an entire episode of Giovanni just looking puzzled and scared. I'm okay with that. Jen's up for it. Clearly. We'll just start making guttural noises until he can hear us. Okay, I think we've got some audio. Okay.
Something.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. He did this, and then I thought we were good, but I don't understand. He's the IT guy. How come he can't fix this?
There goes the candle in the background you were asking about.
Yep. Monkey paws next to the desk. Dude, by the way, if I ever walk into somebody's house and they've got a monkey paw, I'm going to punch him in the face and leave. The same as like if I walked into your house, right? And you know we're supposed to hang out and you have a Ouija board on your table, I'm punching you in the face and I'm walking the fuck out.
Even the one made by Procter & Gamble?
Especially that one.
Supposedly Procter and Gamble, it was supposed to be like a big cultist, company.
Dude, fuck that.
And
Anybody who's willing to like play with that shit, that sort of shit, like if I walk into your house and you got candles in a Ouija or you got candles in a monkey's paw, I'm gonna slam that shit to the ground, punch you in the face, and leave your domicile. I'm done. I'm not playing that game.
got some
Even-
new earbuds in.
Even Giovanni, a devout atheist, doesn't fuck with Ouija boards. We'll get his confirmation when the ghosts stop haunting him. Wouldn't it be not funny? It'd be really fucked up if he didn't lose audio. He just for no reason went deaf.
Okay,
Like
can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes.
you now, yeah.
There we go.
He was muted, and then he unmuted. All right.
All right.
Well,
So,
yeah, because I couldn't hear anything.
all right. So check this out, Giovanni. I said that if I walked into somebody's house and they had a monkey's paw on their table and we were supposed to hang out, that I would punch them in the face and leave. Similarly, like if I walked in and you had a Ouija board, on your fucking table, I'm gonna punch you in the face and leave.
I'm an atheist, but every time I've lived alone, anybody who wanted to bring a Ouija board over, I was like, fuck that. No.
Well, see, that's why I texted you guys. Do these parties actually happen? Like, I feel like they don't. I feel like only in the movies do you have a party where this shit happens.
There are groups that feel like they're occultists that do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but your average friend group, like a bunch of Kiwis, are just sitting around fucking with a monkey's paw?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Nah, dude, if I walked in, I don't give a fuck what's going on in that party. You could have the best drugs or be my best friends. I'm out. Like, fuck you. Fuck your monkey paw. I'm done.
Does Jen hear Giovanni okay, or does Matt have to turn him up a little? Because I had to turn it up to 200.
I can't turn him up anymore. He's as loud as I can go.
Okay.
I turned up the audio in Streamlabs a little bit for you guys, but yeah, I can't pump his volume anymore.
Okay.
Which
Well, you guys can hear me fine, right?
you're a little bit low, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's. Yeah. I'd imagine it's not using your headset microphone, otherwise it would be extra loud.
No, yeah, it's using the typical camera microphone.
Are you at max in your own volume? Like when you right click your screen, your camera, like what your volume is? In Discord. The monkey paw got him. The monkey paw and the Aswan got him. They're working.
How about now?
Much better.
There you go.
There we go.
So Discord changed the input because they're like, you plugged in something new.
Yeah.
Penis?
Happiness? Dude, every time I plug in my PS5 controller, Discord's like, a new source, you want me to use it? And it's like, get the fuck out of here, Discord. Nobody likes you.
Every fucking time. Man.
It's like that person, like your cousin that you don't know very well, that your mom was like, no, take him with you when you go out. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's Discord when it comes to any sort of video production. Trying to think what I've been watching. We did -1. I've been watching just a lot of YouTube. Not a whole lot really besides that, like Big Bang Theory. There's not a ton, like there's new movies out, but there's not like you know me, I'm an action guy, and the action realm is dry as fuck right now.
To be honest with you, I don't even know what movies are out right now.
I know I had to look earlier at what other movies were streaming, trying to figure out what to do with the Under the Paris. And honestly, the only two ideas I came up with were Deep Blue Sea or Troll Hunters. That's why I don't know if Deep Blue Sea is streaming anywhere. That's why I went with Troll Hunter. But yeah, there's so much streaming shit hitting the market, but I don't feel like a lot of it's good. Do you remember like when the Wii came out and the Wii just had tons of shovelware where it was like, hey, it's a $10 Wii game, buy it for your kids, and it was just complete garbage. That's what I feel like a lot of the streaming shit is nowadays.
I wonder if there are a lot of movies too that were made a couple years ago and just didn't come out because of everything going on.
Well, Netflix has that with that Shane Gillis show, Tires. That was made and filmed like a year and a half ago, and they were shopping it around to a bunch of places they could. Netflix not only bought it, but now is renewed for season 2. So you'd have to imagine that season 2 is going to have a higher budget. You'd think. Which I watched the first season. It's okay. It wasn't really anything special. That's what I did watch. It's like 6 episodes long. I will say it does capture working in like a shitty repair shop / tire shop. Because when I worked we all know me, I worked at Lucas Tire. A lot of the same, except the people that worked at Lucas Tire were like just batshit crazy. And the ones that weren't batshit crazy, even if they weren't, they all gave off that, hey, I'm an ex-con vibe, you know? Like, everybody there was fucked in different ways. So I did appreciate, like, and then one of the things they talk about in it is, like, you know, because it starts off where he accidentally orders, like, way too many tires. So he's got them stacked up in the fucking main seating area. And there's a running joke of like, God, these tires fucking smell. And it's all like, and they do. And I remember working at Lucas, you'd walk in there and the first thing you get hit in the face with was, first off, batshit crazy. And then the pungent odor of fresh tire rubber right in your fucking face.
Yep.
And that was the first thing I thought of while watching it. So in that regard, I think they captured it pretty well. It was decent. We'll see what happens. You know, I think for me at least, Shane Gillis's humor is getting a little stagnant of like, I get it. I like you. Can we get the comedy a little different? A little bit more intelligent, maybe. I wouldn't mind, you know?
My wife has been watching Shameless, and I've been catching like bits and pieces.
Watch that show and fucking Modern Family. I keep seeing the clip of Ed O'Neill breaking down. It's the one where he's like, you know, at his funeral, I didn't even cry. Everybody's looking at me like I didn't love the guy. And I really want to watch Modern Family, as Pride Month as that may be to say. But it does look like a good show. You like what I did there? You like what I did there? Yes, that's right.
It is a good show.
It is Pride Month. So for this month and this month only, I'm gay. So, yeah.
I'm a lesbian.
Says your rainbow behind you.
Not a rainbow. You know why I like this background?
It's rotating.
It reminds me of the Street Fighter 2 E Honda level. It had that spinning like Japanese coloration. And that's what this reminds me of for some reason. That's why I like this one. I could change it to something less Pride Month if you would prefer.
You're fine.
Giovanni's a
Be
lesbian.
proud.
Good for you, Giovanni. Good for you.
Yep, I'm a Polish lesbian because I can be in this day and age.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking black transvestite for myself. You know, I was thinking that's the best way to go. All right, let's. So I also realized that I can add you both to the YouTube moderation team if you guys want to be part of it. I have to go into the settings and do it, but apparently they've made it easier to do. So I'll be looking into that and getting that worked out. So when shit goes haywire, you too can stress about it. All right, let's start off with Night Swim, starring Wyatt Russell, which, why haven't they done Escape from New York 3? Wyatt Russell is busting out Kurt Russell.
He's his illegitimate son.
Mm-hmm. Why have we not gotten that fucking movie? John Carpenter is still alive, damn it.
Or an Overboard 2, and he's the son of the rich bitch and Kurt Russell.
You get out of here. You leave. That's the last time we hear from you.
There's a market out there somewhere for it.
Who? Maybe Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Jen likes the movie Overboard.
What do you say, Jen?
Not for me.
I like Overboard. I like the original. I don't like the remake.
Or what about you do,
Isn't he?
You do a past present type thing where you got, current Snake Plissken, and then you can go into the past and you can have Wyatt Russell play him, I don't know, something. They need to be in a fucking movie. Well, they are in a movie. Aren't they in that Godzilla show together?
Oh, I think so.
Where Wyatt Russell plays the younger version of him, the one on Apple TV. Overboard. Alex is petitioning for an Overboard sequel starring Wyatt Russell fucking his mother.
Where he's the new son of Kurt and Goldie.
Now
Isn't he
you're giving
doing? Isn't he doing the thing?
Is he?
I thought I heard something about that.
See, that would be cool because
the movie or
theoretically,
the show?
The movie. I think he was doing something for the thing where he's gonna like play his father.
well,
Like a
because
prequel type shit.
at the end of the movie, he technically Kurt Russell survives, but then in the video game, I think they make it canon he doesn't. But I can't remember, to be honest with you. I can't wait for that remaster of that video game, though. Holy shit, was the thing an awesome game when it came out on the OG Xbox, dude. I actually have a copy of it from the Abandonware websites.
Nice.
But I'm not even going to touch it now because Nightshade does a good job with their remasters. And all I really need is let it run at the proper resolution, maybe some updated textures and lighting, and I'm good to go. I'll give you $20 for it, no fucking problem.
I'm excited for that Wukong game. I want to play that so bad.
Is that the monkey game? The monkey
Yeah.
guy game? It
I'm
does look
excited for it.
interesting. I don't know if I'm excited for really any games. I really enjoy Ghost of Tsushima, and then you see Assassin's Creed Samurai, and it
No,
just
fuck
looks
that.
like a game that's not nearly as well done as Ghost of Tsushima.
It's
Like it looks like they played the guys who made it played Ghost of Tsushima, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna make this style game. They just don't do it as well. I don't know. It's like the Things sequel movie.
I'm looking forward to Fable.
With what is his name? Richard
I want
Ayojeddy?
butt-faced women
Yeah.
in my video games.
So that is one thing I said about the Microsoft showcase. Every fucking first-party Microsoft game, you're basically a woman of color.
I think it was something like 70 or 80% of the games was a woman of color as a main character.
And like, don't get me wrong, like Perfect Dark makes sense. Perfect Dark's original character was a British woman, but they've turned it
They
into
made her
Deus
look like
Ex.
a man, though. She looks like a dude.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against playing as a woman. God knows I was, Tomb Raider fan, original Perfect Dark fan, new
When they
school
look like
Tomb
women,
Raiders.
though, I have nothing playing as a woman when they're women. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think that's one of the many problems that Forspoken game had.
oh, God,
Beyond
that
it being
was
a
awful.
beyond it being a technical mess, and the other thing is it doesn't make these characters likable. Like I don't like Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice is perfect because no matter the fact that she's a woman, it's not about that. It's about the torment of mental illness and grieving and loss. And I feel like every showcase game they showed where you're a woman POC, there's no humanity to it. It's just like, hey, I'm a woman. What's up, bro? I do this and I've got an attitude. And it's like, I don't want to play that. The new Fable, though, does look interesting. They're also apparently are redoing the original Halo trilogy, and it will be released on PlayStation.
Oh, wow.
Which further cements my questioning what the only reason we have exclusives is for greed. And I had this argument with my brother, and Microsoft seems to be getting away from the exclusives game. But Sony is still so hard locked into their exclusives because they got to sell those PS5s. And it's
Sony
just
to kill themselves if they
And
can't.
Nintendo.
dude,
Nintendo's different though.
Nintendo, well,
I know.
I will say Nintendo has built themselves into a complete niche. Like, I'll buy a Switch too, because it's at least something I can't do with my PC. But everything else, the hardware I could play any fucking game with my PC. Give me and it's proven every single Sony exclusive that releases on PC is better. God of War 2 is coming out soon. It's gonna be better on PC. It'll look better. It'll be smoother. You know what I mean? Like, just give me a PC fucking release for these, like Spider-Man 2. Give me the PC release, because just like the first Spider-Man, it'll be better on PC.
I always see Nintendo as a family friendly.
Even beyond
Gamer.
that, Nintendo is a console brand that can make video games. Microsoft is a console brand that can't make video games.
They can buy
Sony is a
studios and then
console
close them.
brand that says other brands are Sony video games. Like
Well,
it's like
well,
what are
then
you doing?
we had that discussion with Silent Hill 2 of like, instead of giving it to like Japan Studios or one of the tried and true Sony brands, they give it to some studio that's more than likely going to cock it up.
Not only that, they give it to a studio that nobody trusts. Nobody in the gamer community thought that studio deserved that game. Nobody.
And not for nothing, but they're doing Silent Hill 2 at a studio nobody trusts. Meanwhile, why isn't there a Dead Gone sequel? That game was fucking awesome. Or was it Dead Gone, the zombie game with where you play as the biker?
Oh, Days Gone By or something like Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Apparently, Sony internals hated that game, and there will never be a sequel. Meanwhile, in my opinion, it was refreshing compared to, okay, you can make a Spider-Man game. Oh, what's that? Fucking
It was
Wolverine's been delayed another year because you got hacked. Apparently,
It was kinda like
another Marvel project, and it's just like, can we get some fresh shit that isn't Marvel? Like Stellar Blade, that seems like a solid, but once again,
Awesome.
there's no PC release, and even the developers are like, yeah, no, we'd love to do a PC release.
Days Gone was like a
developers are
GTA
all
fucking zombie game. I liked it.
Days Gone was awesome because you can be riding your motorcycle and come across a fucking horde out of nowhere. And then when it came to PC, I gotta tell you, gentlemen, that's a fun game to beat and then play again and cheat the fuck out of. Because there's nothing more fun than coming across a horde with unlimited ammo. Of just like, you got your machine gun and these fuckers are chasing you and you're just...
the opposite. I'm all about coming across the horde with limited ammo.
For the first run, yes. But I would, just for a minute, encourage you to go on Wiimod, throw unlimited health and unlimited ammo on there, and give yourself 15 minutes of fun and tell me it wasn't fun.
Remember, you're talking to somebody who plays Resident Evil games with harder mods.
Yeah, did you completely beat Elden Ring?
I did.
You picking up the deal? I never finished the
DLC's already pre-ordered. It's been pre-ordered.
I never finished the final boss, and I gotta see if I have the
I'm on my 8th run of
willpower.
Elden Ring, and
Jesus.
I unlocked Mode, and I didn't beat him because I'm waiting for Friday so I can beat him and go right into the DLC.
I feel like you love to torture yourself. Like behind the scenes, you're the dude from Da Vinci Code, like whipping yourself with the you know what I mean? Like you're like, fuck it, here we go again. Oh yeah, there's blood trickling down the shoulder. Like you love that sort of thing. For me, with my ADD, dude, that was my biggest problem with Elden Ring, and it took the most focus I think any game has ever taken from me. Of like, okay, I've fought this boss 10 times. I've lost this boss 10 times. I'm going to give it one more shot. And if I don't beat it, I'm going to fucking kill something. Like, there is no, like, the achievement was like, oh, thank God I finally beat the boss. But while I'm trying to beat the boss, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to rage. I'm going to rage. I'm going to cut myself. I'm going to cut somebody else. I'm going to fucking rage. That was my big issue with Elden Ring, is my ADD would kick in and it'd start talking to me and go, why the fuck you playing this game? You got other games you could play. Why are you playing this game? You know what I mean?
I started playing the what is it, anniversary edition of Fable on the
Nice.
Xbox. So I was doing cloud gaming, and I couldn't tell if it was the cloud gaming that was really fucked up or if it was just me. But I couldn't get past this part where you're supposed to get an A+ in fucking archery. I kept getting an A, and I was fucking getting pissed, and I finally just turned it off, man. I was like, fuck this.
Did you try the PC Game Pass cloud gaming?
No, I haven't done it yet.
I would boot it up on the PC app and check it out. It might be a little bit, because you have an OG Xbox, right?
Yeah, the Xbox One, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely try the PC Game Pass version of it.
I downloaded the actual game to the hardware, so I haven't tried it back up yet.
They don't make Fable Anniversary for PC?
I didn't check.
I don't.
I
don't
thought
think
they
so.
did. Of course, yeah, dude, you can get Fable Anniversary on Steam right now for $11, $10.50 plus tax.
Oh, that's
I would go
But
that route if I were you.
This is just something I do when like when I'm sitting in the living room, since I'm not back here. I can just sit in the living room, play some video games and shit. So I put it on there.
He sits in the living room, plays Fable Anniversary, fucks his skull incense holder, whatever. We've all seen it,
Wine
Alex.
bottle.
Oh, it's a wine bottle holder?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that thing and I immediately thought incense holder. I mean, I don't know what kind of giant incense you have to shove in that thing's fucking
It puts
mouth,
the
but-
incense right here in its
Big
hand.
ass incense thing.
Well, that's like the place I go to get vape fluid and blunts. You walk in, and that's the weirdest thing about, like, if you vape, you can't trust anything that, like, you can't trust any store. Because, you know, oh, this is a vape shop, and you walk in, fucking incense over here, bongs in the glass containers, signs on the windows, we sell generic cigarettes. Like, vaping is still, I don't think it'll ever get better, but is still a weird thing. Like, you can Google vape shop, and 9 out of 10 of them will be some shisty fucking cigarette shop. I mean, I've literally walked into this thing, and this guy has tried to sell me weed. It's CBD. It's not real weed. It's CBD. But, like, let's say I bought it, and I go home, and it's salvia. And I fucking have a little 5-minute insanity spurt, and it's like the end of Late Night with the Devil, where I've killed my entire fucking family, and I'm like, well, what happened? What happened? I just smoked some of the weed the guy at the shop sold me. What happened? You know what I mean? Like you can't, don't trust them, all right? If you're going to buy blunts, they're sealed. If you're going to buy vape fluid, make sure it's fucking sealed. That's the success to not dying from this stuff when you live at least by my area. Other areas like Florida and Texas and stuff have like legitimate vape shops. And there's 1 or 2 legitimate vape shops out here that I trust, but the one that I trust is expensive. That's the other problem is it's expensive. It's, you know,
when you go out to like Morton Grove and you start driving past all these vape shops, there's like one across the street from the other at all these little strip malls as you're going down the main streets.
I'll give you a little hint. If it says vape shop, but the windows have that LED lining that flashes like police are outside of the fucking place, that's not a vape shop. That's a smoke shop that sells vape fluid. And then you want to know another trick? Call these places and say, hey, I just wanted to see if you had this hardware. What do you need? What? Yep, smoke shop, not a vape shop. You could probably tell me what blunts you have, but you don't know a fucking thing about vaping, the hardware. And another thing, you go in and buy vape fluid. If this place has a whole bunch of the Candy King flavors, that's a smoke shop, not a vape shop. Nobody who vapes fucking Candy King. It's terrible. It's terrible fluid.
They probably have those little air freshener, tree air fresheners that say black ice as well.
More than likely. Or the ones that are shaped like pot leaves and shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did buy I mean, I was in there the one day and Jen has this little wood cabin house that's you put little cones in it. A little plume of the incense smoke comes out of it.
Yeah.
I did buy the little cones for that the one day because I was there and that's for the fucking store, so might as well, right? Well, kids, we are here. I just noticed, by the way, weird tangent. I somehow have 277 followers on Twitter. I don't fucking do anything on Twitter. How did I get followers?
You bought them.
Yes, that's right. I bought 277 followers to do nothing with. Yes.
I believe it.
Here's the thing. I went through a VPN. It was El Salvadorian dollars, which ended up only costing me like 33 cents overall. So it's all legit, right? They don't have my credit card number and aren't charging things.
No.
You can buy followers with iTunes gift cards now. You have to go to Walmart. Okay, let's start this bitch off. We've got Night Swim is the first movie on the docket. And we will start with Alejandro. Ali. Because you actually, you said you suggested these 2 movies.
Yeah, I said we should just try out some horror movies, and these were the 2 that popped up that were most recent. And Lewis, the old member of the crew here,
He's dead. Don't talk about him.
he loves Blumhouse, and he said that it was a bad movie, but he loves it. So I was like, hey, let's see what it is.
See, that's the weird thing about him is he 50-50 because he's also an A24 guy, which I believe Talk to Me is A24, right?
No, I didn't check that shit.
I think it is. I gotta double check. I could have swore
think-
when the opening
Yeah, I
thing
thought
showed.
that's why when you mentioned it. I was like, oh shit, an A24. That's what I thought it was.
Then how come it's not on HBO Max?
Night Swim is Bloomhouse, and like
Yeah,
Bloomhouse for me is a very 50-50, like they're either going to
Yeah,
give a
they-
good movie or they're going to give garbage, a shovelware.
and they usually get some decent actors, but they're just there they're part of their SAG agreement. They have to do these movies for X amount of dollars.
Yeah, once again, I feel so bad that Wyatt Russell had to be in this movie. Like as soon as I saw him, I let out a literal, "Oh, like you're
I
better
think-
than this."
I think he just wanted to play a baseball player. I don't know.
I think he had so much success with his one episode of Black Mirror. He's like, we can try a horror movie. They're giving me
He-
$10 million for this fucking thing.
He also did the what is it, Winter Soldier, the Captain America.
No, he's in the Thunderbird, whatever the offshoot was, where he was like quasi.
No, he was also supposed to be the new Captain America.
No, dude.
Yeah,
Anthony,
the TV show.
Anthony- yeah, but that wasn't Winter Soldier. That was the offshoot.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier, or whatever it's called, the TV show.
Yes, but Captain America is being played by Anthony. Was it Mackie?
Anthony Mackie, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the show, if you watched it,
Yeah, he's
Wyatt Russell is the next Captain America for a while.
Because
What was that show
the-
called? I can't remember.
the
Falcon and
Oh.
and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah,
Yeah,
Falcon
but
doesn't want to be Captain America because
Right.
he feels he doesn't deserve it.
So
Yeah, but-
Wyatt
So
becomes the
he-
Captain America, the
Yeah, but-
intern.
Didn't he start in
God.
another offshoot that happened around the same time as the Natasha Romanoff movie, where it had the guy from Stranger Things as the Russian, and then they were supposed to have their own show after that. Can't remember what it was supposed to be
I
called.
don't know.
But
The Black Widow movie.
yeah, there was the Black Widow movie that had the Russian guy played by David, whatever the fuck his name is.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
they were supposed to have like a group TV show, including Wyatt Russell's Captain America, the Russian dude, and then like several other people. It was supposed to be like, I can't remember what it was, but not Thunderbird. Thunderbird seems not right at all. I can't remember what it was supposed to be, but I thought they were supposed to have like an offshoot that just never got made. Or
Like
it's
one
in,
of those offshoot teams.
yeah, where it was like the other
Secret
guys
Avengers,
almost.
kind of like the other dudes.
That sucks that he got fucked out of that then. I mean, I would have rather had Wyatt Russell as Captain America than Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, there was 6 episodes, and he was in all 6 episodes.
What was it called?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh no, I was thinking of the other show.
Oh no, that one.
The
Let's see.
canceled show, yeah, I know, but they canceled so much though that it was.
Well, I
supposed to be
mean,
so much I mean, I'm glad they canceled. So
yeah,
much,
you
to be
you got.
honest with
I mean, I've lost all hope with anything Disney owns. I mean, look at the Acolytes.
you. Oh God, that show, it is getting just wrung so badly.
Well, I mean, nobody can tell me at this point that we're not seeing the downfall of quote unquote feminist writing. Like, call it what you want, woke, feminism. There's definitely a push of like the women are indestructible. All of the evil people are white dudes. You know what I mean? Like it's at a point where it's a template now. And it's enough. Like, I'm not going to watch your product. I'm not going to just like, what's up, Don? Good day, guys. It is much too early for you to be awake, buddy. But like, there is this weird template they've made at Disney, and I'm just going to call it Disney. It doesn't matter what the product is anymore because it's infecting everything, where it's like, women are the best. People of color are the best. If you're white, you're probably a bad guy or a dumbass. Kind of what they did with like fathers in sitcoms. You know what I mean? Like, what was the last sitcom that had a strong, smart father that took care of the family?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
You're working at 6 a.m. on a Saturday?
On a Saturday.
What the fuck? I hope it's like
Oh,
something else besides your actual job.
or
Can
bra,
people-
I don't know.
Do people go postal in the Netherlands? I mean, is it a uniquely American thing? I don't know. I mean, I feel like
They just get
America-
extremely upset.
I feel like Americans are the only ones that have the balls enough to be like, fuck this shit. And you know what I mean? Just shooting people. Like, everybody else in the world is, well, not in the world, but everybody else is usually kind of kilter at work. Not postal workers in the States.
Everyone else in the world is like, fuck this. I'm going to be so productive today.
Yeah. I'm going to do so well, and I'm going to go home, and it's going to feel great that I had a good day at work, even though I hate my job. And postal workers in the United States are like, I can barely read this address. I can barely read this fucking address. They just lose their shit. You know what I mean? Or like it's been misfiled in the wrong stack.
Oh, look, the new Maxim magazine they put in their back pocket. Because that's what they do.
There is so much fucking theft. It's not even like, and then now Grubhub has gotten so weird as if you get to your door as they get to it, prepare to be in a picture with your food. It's so
weird.
fucking
Smile at it.
awkward, dude. Like I opened the door the one day when we ordered from Grubhub and they're like taking a photo of me and I'm like the photo had to have looked like what the fuck? Like, why are you taking a photo of me? Like, and then today I was woken up by my Ring doorbell with an officer at my door.
Oh,
And I see a fucking fire truck and 3 cop cars. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the cops pointing over this way where my brother's parked. So in the city, fire hydrants are only at the ends of the blocks. They don't really fuck with the residential other than the ends of the blocks. Not on my block. There's one right in front of somebody's house, which my brother was parked by. They didn't break his windows or anything. There's enough room there, but the cop was like, yeah, it's supposed to be 15 feet. You can't really park there anymore. And yeah, I don't even know what happened, but I'm looking through the Ring doorbell like, what in the fuck is going on here? Like, I didn't see a fire. I don't know what happened. I don't know. All I know is I opened the door with my gun loaded. I was like, hello, officer. How are you today? And he's like, all right, no problem. Just wanted to tell you. But no, I called my brother. I was like, yo, you need to get out there. They're going to fucking tow your car.
Dude, I would have called them and been like, they're towing your car.
Well,
I just heard glass break and they're throwing a fucking fire hose through the window.
Right. Like, that's the other thing. And then, so he was all pissed. Oh my God, because his car was hit by one of the snow plows. And
There's no snow.
He's had some damage done to it. So, like, it was immediately like, all right, my fucking car. And I was like, dude, in my head, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Go, if you need to bitch or vent to somebody, there is a mirror in the bathroom. Take all the time you need. I don't want to fucking hear it. Like,
Take a pillow, put it on your face, and yell as much as you want.
Hold it there until you pass out. That's all you got to do. All right, back to Night Swim. Sorry, Alex, we went on a tangent there. Cut you off a bit.
No. So basically what Night Swim is about is this baseball player. Well, it starts out with, this pool thing. And then it goes from 1992 to the present time. A kid disappears and shit. And, they don't really show you much about it.
Well, we actually see the kid disappear.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah. And basically the story picks up with this baseball player who we find out a little bit later that he has MS. And
second stage MS by the time they say what he has.
Yeah. And he doesn't like the place where they're moving to. They just get insurance and they find this other place that he likes because it has a pool. And then he finds out that he's in second stage and they said, water activities will make him feel better. And he sees this pool and he falls in love with the place. And then the story goes on from there where he actually falls in the pool at the beginning, right?
The pool cover, yeah.
Because he saw a baseball, yeah. And he finds a way to swim out. So he didn't, he apparently he's not that bad.
Which once again, I mean, the beginning starts kind of okay, but if I had kids, right, and I had a pool like that,
yeah,
one of the first things I would make known is if you go out there at night, I'm going to peel the sticker off the back windshield because you're gone. If I'm asleep and you go to the pool at night, nobody's going to fucking save you. Like, don't do that. Stay in the for one thing, why are you leaving the comfort of the home at night? You're like 8 years old.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That just pissed me off but they do.
Also, as a parental thing, why the fuck did he tell him, hey, don't go past, to stay in the shallow end and I'm going to go look for this quarter later. Why are you sending your kid into the pool in the first place?
It is a very deep pool too.
That's the weird thing. Yeah. Because he was such a concerned father. But that scene, I was like, okay, this is out of character.
Yeah.
Stay in the shallow end. Like,
but I think what it was he started getting more and more greedy about himself.
Well,
because he wanted to be better. he wants to, feel better or whatever. And
Yeah, but he didn't know
yeah.
any of that. It's whatever the entity was taking him over at that point. Because he didn't. He
Yeah.
did. And here's the thing: they never explained to him any of the lore. He just by the end of the movie gets it. Like the wife talks to the woman, but he gets taken over by the thing. And I had a real problem with spoiler alert, guys. Where by the end of the movie, once he gets the entity out of him, then out of nowhere he's like, someone has to pay the price.
Yeah.
How do you
where
know
did
that?
knowledge come from?
He said,
Right?
he says
Well, when
what was
he
said.
wakes up, the look on his face is like, what the fuck is going on?
What did I do?
Yeah.
2 seconds later, he's like, I know what to do. Like, how the fuck do you know what to do?
Well, and then when he wakes up and he sees his kid on the side of the pool, like not moving, he's like, "Is he okay?" Like, no, he didn't just trip and bang his head on the counter, dude. He's fucking dead. Like he's drowning. What do you mean? Is he all right?
Not only does he have MS, after that though, he's got like a leg fucking like a falling in.
Oh,
his ribs are fucked up because
okay.
his daughter's fucking.
Can we talk about that? The daughter is got to be the best daughter in any horror movie because by the end of it, she's like, "I love you, Dad, but here's your kneecap," and then she keeps beating him with it. Like she doesn't stop, and I'm on her side.
Until she saw
100%.
him vomit some black fluid.
Keep hitting the motherfucker. Like you're doing a good job, sweetie. Keep doing it.
What's the sign? Swing away.
Yeah, swing away, Meryl.
I thought it was like the Friends thing when they do that.
Oh no, no.
But
yeah,
that
was one of the weird holes. Is like he gets taken over by it, so then he automatically knows it, even though it's no longer in him. Like there was no connection to how he understood that at all.
also, whatever state they live in, I guess they don't disclose deaths when you're buying a home because in the state of Illinois, you're supposed to disclose whether somebody died in the house if they
I
ask.
thought you're supposed to do that no matter what. Like
I don't know
otherwise
if
it opens you up to litigation.
I don't know if it's the same for every state though. I mean, you know how there's different fucking rules for all this bullshit.
Oh, I can't type because I'm stupid. Where is Night Swim set? I thought it was like California or something.
It's something like that.
They do they actually like give? Where
They never
live at all?
say-
No, yeah,
they
it's
only
well, it's filmed in Cali.
They only say where he used to play for. They only say what team he used to play for, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
only
since it
say
was
where
filmed,
they're-
since it was filmed in California, I'm
Might as
gonna
well
go
assume.
with California. Yeah.
Well, they have like fucking hepatitis running around the streets up there,
Well,
so I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they don't disclose.
Yeah, you don't have to in LA. You don't have to tell people you have AIDS before having sex with them. So,
Maybe it's the same thing for the house. You have to tell them that somebody died there.
well, I mean, like, I don't think our realtor disclosed that to us here, but it was an old dude who passed away. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like a pool didn't swallow him. You know,
Yeah.
he was an old guy who fucking died.
Yeah.
So speaking of pool, the water is the entity, right? And it's supposed to have like this fountain of youth effect. But the downside is you have to sacrifice a life.
To get a
For your
life.
wish,
Or
if you will.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then the movie introduces spirits. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is going to get interesting. And doesn't explore that very much at all. And
What-
I'm like, what?
What I would have liked to see, since they had that whole scene of like, oh, this is a well-fed, pool. This is, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He goes through that whole spiel. They get the digger in there and they dig up the pool, and underneath the pool is the well. That
Yeah.
would have been kind of cool. That would have given it a bit of a Ring feel. I did not like how they tried to steal things, like they tried to steal from the clown.
13 Ghosts. Oh,
No. The Stephen King.
yeah.
It. When
Or
the
the
kids
little
in the
girl in the
Yep, when the kid's in the pool and then you're looking through the filter area.
I
To
got
me-
your toy.
That wasn't an homage. That was just theft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that. But there were some cool like spiritual scenes, like where the wife is swimming and it's her point of view, and you see him. But
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And then where the daughter is underwater and they're following her from behind, and she's just going into black, and this bloated man comes out of it. I
Yeah.
was like, that's cool. Like,
Well, see, I thought the
alright.
part where she's playing Marco Polo and behind
Uh-huh.
her, like the black
Yeah,
demons, like
that was-
Polo, and then disappears. There was some neat stuff in the movie.
That's where it gave me like a 13th Ghost feel, with like how they showed the ghost and shit. That was kind of cool for that.
I know I'm going to be ripped apart for saying this, but I kind of wish they'd make a 13 Ghosts remake. Like, can you imagine 13
know.
Ghosts with modern technology and CG and shit, dude? I
So
still love that
good.
movie, as cheesy as it
I
is.
do
That
too.
movie's awesome.
If they bring
we
back
ever
Matt
reviewed
Lillard, that would be cool. I don't know. I don't think so.
Matthew
Yes, we did.
Lillard. Matthew Lillard can't be in it. He's too busy doing the Five Nights at Freddy ripoff, or no, Five Nights at Freddy legit movie.
Yeah.
I think he's in the sequel they're filming too.
And Tony Shalhoub. Bring him too. His old ass
According to
face.
you, I was gonna say, according to you, Tony Shalhoub looks awful. I'd rather see him in a new Men in Black movie.
He looks really old, yeah.
You have any idea how much that stings?
With that fucking eye he's got.
Yeah, no.
Don't hate on Tony Shalhoub. He's a
I love that
he's a
fucking
gift
character.
to he's a
Funny.
gift to humanity. He's a nice guy, I think. Maybe that's why you don't hear much from Tony Shalhoub as far as like, because you never heard any like TMZ
bad
Tony
press
Shalhoub.
or
Yeah, maybe he's just
Yeah.
a good dude, and we need to cherish him and protect him. I'm trying to think because this movie beyond anything that happens in the pool is a little, not a little, it's hollow.
Yeah.
It's a
If-
lot of,
Here's a question for you though. If you had a pool in your backyard and you're swimming in it and the fucking pool lights go in and out,
Yeah, I'm getting
are you
out.
still gonna swim in it?
well, because here's my first thought. Something's wrong with the electrical, and what happens if that feeds into the water?
I'm gonna die.
That would be my first thought of not necessarily a demon's coming after me, but what happens if I get electrocuted?
But here's another thing. If you see something or you hear something and then when you look again, it's gone, are you gonna be like, hey, where'd you go?
See,
No.
that's the other thing is I'm already paranoid enough where if that happens, every light's on in the house. I'm whipping torches I just lit into my backyard, into the pool. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to light the cross in the backyard on fire. The whole fucking
Matt's
place
in the
is
trunk
gonna
of his
be-
car pulling out the fucking road flares.
Dude, that's the thing is if I move into a house that's I find out is haunted, I'm getting baseball stadium lights for my backyard. Where the type of lights where you flip the switch and it goes and a spark shoots out of the fucking box and it like the neighbors are complaining about it because I'm lighting up the entire fucking backyard for the whole block.
Mark Griswold
Fuck
over
that.
there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, I don't fuck around with haunting. I go get that flashlight from Blade, the UV flashlight. That's what I
Oh
get.
shit.
He moved. The
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
thing we talked about before this stream started was the way the movie was filmed. It was made like a made for TV rather than. It was really weird. Like the lighting they use, the scenes they use. I felt like sometimes I was watching a commercial. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
weird.
the camera angles themselves. Once again, everything that wasn't the pool had a weird, just kind of whateverness
Yeah.
to it.
There was like
super
a
strange.
blue gray or some shit like that to it when they were.
Well, yeah, and then they use those filters on purpose because you notice that like when it's sunny out and they have the pool party, that filter's gone.
Yep.
But then like right back to the dark blue. And I get it, but I don't know. It just the cinematography didn't have the styling this movie was trying to go for. Is how it felt to me. Like the image that the director had in his head, it's like the cinematographer couldn't 100% translate. You know what I mean?
I kept
And-
getting like the feel of what's it called though? Like I told you earlier, the M Night Shyamalan. Swing away, that type of shit. And
See, I would have gotten that feeling if you would have had scenes where like one of them walks out to the backyard and the pool is just nothing but steam because it's a cool night and they said the water was heated and stuff by the well. Like the reason why I didn't get M. Night Shyamalan is because there was legitimately no mystery to this movie. Like they wanted mystery, and instead of mystery, they just didn't give you information. Meanwhile, they're still like, oh, by the way, here's a ghost we'll show you. Here's a demon in the water we'll show you. And I will say, at least with Talk to Me, there's somewhat of mystery.
yeah.
There's a feeling about that where you're kind of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Like, you've shown me everything that's going on here. But, and we'll talk about it, but when it comes to, is that her mother or is that a demonic entity? There was
Yeah.
at least mystery in that. There's no mystery here, especially by the end of the movie where the daughter's in the house and in the shadows, her dad's there. And he's like, don't, and you hear dripping like he's wet. And then
Yeah.
he just goes from that to like beating the shit out of her.
Did anybody watch this with subtitles or no?
I did.
So at the beginning it says Timagami, Timagami, Timagami. It says it like 4 times.
Yeah.
And
like a
in the
whisper.
shadows, you can see 4 figures pop up when it says Timagami. It's one of those weird things. That was kind of like one of those cool things, effects and shit that they were doing with the whole pool scene. And
Like, yeah, the movie's not a complete failure. It's just the sum of the parts don't equal a good movie, in my opinion. It's
the way it's put together.
yeah. I feel like less family drama, less focus on his MS, which you can't not focus on it because the whole point is it's going to heal you as long as you sacrifice somebody. But I would have liked more lore from the actual entities in the pool and digging into those. Like, the only thing we get is they talk to the mother of the young girl who's still possessed, and then you see news clippings of people who have disappeared.
Yeah, that's it.
That that wasn't enough for me. I felt like that there's a definite lack in
the Summer
the lore.
family. Yeah.
Another thing, so everybody remembers Paranormal Activity 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I bring those 2 up because when the movie starts, you get a quick, 5-10 minutes of the family, night 1, and it starts immediately. Small, but it starts. This movie takes forever to get going.
Yeah.
The first
Also-
11 minutes is where you get the beginning, but it should have kept on, but it just didn't.
Yeah, it's an introduction and takes forever to get going.
Well, there's small things they could have done rather than the father sacrificing himself, right? Let him stay fully possessed. Let the entities come out of the pool and pull him into the blackness, into the water, and take him into hell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. There was a lot of things that they could have done that they just didn't, or they did in a different way that I don't know. It didn't sit well.
The way that because the mother of the family goes to visit the old family, and you find out the mother sacrificed the daughter to save the son. That's why her son is alive and doing so well, and she's suffering the sickness because she was clearly infected to allow her daughter to die for the sacrifice. And the way she explained it was that the water needs a sacrifice and then it goes away. So I think it's like feeding. So it would have been cool in that end scene, instead of sacrificing himself, to tell his family, let's get out of here. And then in a last-ditch effort to survive, the entity sends an army of spirits. They just start crawling out, going after them, and the family's trying to get away. And then eventually the family starves the pool.
Well, see, that was my other thing. What happens if, you pour a bunch of gasoline in the water and light it up?
That'd be cool.
Set the pool on fire and then have these entities crawling out, lining your tree-lined backyard with nothing but former victims of this pool. Like, pull these entities out of the water and make them a real threat. Instead we get the end scene where of course, the wife has been doing Marine Navy dives because of her dad, and so that's the one cool scene when she goes in and she's diving, and then you look up and the light is this big, so it's almost like an infinite amount of water.
And then it takes Rebecca to show her that she's going the wrong way.
Well, she drained the pool. I'd have drained the pool, filled that bottom fucking drain full of gasoline, and lit that bitch up. But once again, I still think it would have been a better option. She drains the pool, and she has the digger rip the pool up, and you find the literal well.
Yeah, instead of digging it up and destroying it completely, they just covered it with dirt. So there's a cement pond.
Yeah.
And then they stay there. How sick are you in the fucking head to stay there? Like, oh yeah, we know our dad just got eaten by the pool, tried to kill our little brother, or whatever that thing was. And then, I'm fine with still living here. It's got a great view.
now that the water's covered in dirt, it's not going to creep to the house at all, right? It's not going to fucking make
That's
its
the
way.
other thing is if it's well fed, where is
It's gonna
that
fill
well
up.
water coming from?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
No, but what I was saying was the one part where the little girl Rebecca from the Summer family, she stops the mom and the son when she was trying to swim. She lets go of the quarter and the quarter goes the other direction. So she shows the mom.
Was
"You're
that
supposed to
her?
be
That was
swimming."
her helping them, right?
Yeah, she's telling her to swim the other direction.
That's another thing. That scene could have been much cooler if like there was a glimpse of light, or if there was a storm. Let's say it was raining that night, right? And she swims down and a giant lightning storm goes off while she's down there. It could have flashed the light and you just see thousands of bodies.
Well,
Not
there
just
is
like the bodies they're showing.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is a
Like-
view where they're coming towards them. Yeah.
Almost
but there
like
was only a few,
almost like those underwater movies with like the killer fish, and a light happens and they're just
Yeah.
surrounded. Yeah. I
I'm
also-
talking like thousands. You see like their heads and arms
See,
and shit.
It would have been cliche, but what about, at the end, the old man is he loses the affliction, picks up the coin, looks into the pool, and you have one of the black demonic fucking characters just standing there. And he looks at it and he goes, "You're going to pay." And he throws the coin in there, and all the other souls surround the black demon and start pulling it under. All these
Oh, that'd be cool.
souls that it claimed, you know what I mean? Like, have them rise up and take this thing out for you. It's just, they went so cliche with the ending that you know what I mean? It just left no room for any
It's a
sort of
happy ending.
originality.
It's a happy ending.
Not really.
Well, it's supposed to be like a happy ending.
How is it a happy ending?
The kid survives. The dad sacrifices himself. He turns out that he's not a bad guy after all.
I never, for once in this movie, thought he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
In
I
fact,
didn't either.
in
I
fact, the
thought-
beginning
I
of the
thought
movie
his
is a great
possession-
father.
Yeah.
I thought his possession started when he was cut in the hand.
Yeah.
That's when I thought.
Oh,
his possession-
because that was before it starts shooting up the black goo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they
Like,
were cleaning the pool.
Like, that's the thing, is he's throughout the movie, he's a great dad, just trying to cope with his illness. And then he's infected and he's all demonic, but like, it's not a happy ending. And by the way, if the water demands a sacrifice, how come the cat wasn't the sacrifice to heal him?
Yeah.
That's true.
It didn't say it had to be a
Because
human
the-
sacrifice.
The movie doesn't really, the pool doesn't really kill anybody until the father sacrifices himself.
Yep.
So technically, yeah, nobody died until the cat.
How come the cat wasn't the sacrifice that started healing his MS?
Maybe some cat came back to life or somewhere else.
No, I think that's what we call a good old fashioned plot hole.
That fucking but one thing you can say though they followed through is cats are assholes. Even the ghost cat fucking knocked over the glass.
I mean, I guess, but that's the other thing is I don't know. I would have even accepted a scene with the mother of Rebecca, the girl who dies in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the family leaves her, they clearly see she's all fucked up and possessed. Give me a scene where the demon comes and takes her out. You know what I mean? Like, show them leave, show her walk over by her fountain, and have it go Polo, and she looks up. Like, have the demon start cleaning house if you're going to be this way.
Yeah.
But instead, the only time you really see the amount of destruction this fucking entity is done is at the, towards the end when the mother dives in and there's all those spirits around her. That's really all you get for the amount of actual pain this pool has caused, which is frustrating. I don't know. Between the lack of lore and the plot holes, and one of the big things for me is, once again, the whole, like, he wakes up, has no idea what's going on. He's like, is he okay? And then he stands up and immediately is just like, someone's got to pay. And it's like, how do you know that?
How did you know?
Like, you weren't with them. You've been possessed for fucking weeks at this point. Like, how do you know the lore? Because I tell you right now, the movie just told us the fucking lore. So how do you know? So yeah, I don't know. For me, bit of a week. a weak movie. I was open-minded. I want you guys to know I didn't go into this one hating it. It wasn't like, fuck this movie. Same thing with Talk to Me. I didn't go into him with any sort of like, this is gonna suck. It just so happened to, and there's issues.
I think the problem with this, the big problem with this movie is it's an interesting concept, but they didn't execute well.
No,
The
not
way
at
it
all.
Filmed to like
And
the way it was cut together.
they had a lot of time to tell a story too, man. Fucking almost an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
They had a lot of time to fucking do a story well.
Well, also, all of the horror is only in their pool. Like, why wasn't there a shot of them at school, in the school's pool, where shit starts popping off and the daughters in swim or something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't. They kept everything so local to that house. It really did feel like, oh, all I gotta do is leave the property. All right, cool.
It's also, they missed a chance for like lore. Like the mother starts searching what happened, but the two kids go to each other and they're like, something's wrong with that pool. And the older daughter, with their kids, they're always on the internet. She should have started searching immediately.
Right?
Like we got a deep dive.
Like the daughter wasn't stupid.
Yeah, like so
And
I'm
the
like,
son started recording. He started
Yeah.
recording shit.
like,
Yeah.
At least
Like-
he was trying to document stuff.
Well, why wasn't there a scene since he's recording where he films it overnight and watches the footage and you see these souls
well, that's what
somewhere?
I'm saying. When he starts recording in the day, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Y-
it's a pool party. Like, why are you recording in the day?
And then
But-
There was more souls to take there.
well, then the guy's got MS and they're doing the kids on the shoulders game.
Uh-huh.
He almost drowns him and the kid. And then it's like, he's got MS. It fucks with his blah, blah, blah. And then he's like,
his motor.
I just think it's better he doesn't come to practice. What is that going to change anything? Like, you're literally going,
then-
we know this guy has a medical condition. We probably shouldn't have had him doing this anyways. But yeah, fuck him. I don't want to see him again.
And then the kid's mother like starts screaming, "No, stay away from my family!" Like the anger that she has was kind of like, "What? Why are you so angry?"
At
Like,
that point, if I'm the father, I'm going, I know who's going to be paying for my healing. This little bitch. Fuck that. I ain't sacrificing my own kids. Come on over. We're going to have a I'm sorry night swim pool party. You can do whatever you want in the pool, unsupervised. We won't even listen for your screams. I mean, for the amount of fun you're going to have. Enjoy.
Just no peeing and no pooping in the pool, okay, guys?
But then it doesn't make sense
It'll turn
either
green.
for when the daughter goes in the pool at night when the parents are out. There really wasn't any point to that, considering the father was already kind of overtaken by it. You know what I mean? Like, what was the point of that?
No, I think he gets taken at the pool party. He gets taken over at the pool party because that's when he goes under and
Where
the,
he's in the
and the shit
blackness?
goes.
into
Yeah,
But like I said, I think his possession started when he got cut on his hand.
a little bit, yeah, because it
was
did
a
heal.
deep cut too.
It did
Fuck.
heal itself too.
I think it finalized when he was taken at the pool party.
Yes.
I'm just trying to look at our connection. Looked like the YouTube feed was getting a little choppy there for some reason. We're back. We're good.
All right.
Also, speaking of possession, before we give it the hot dogs, at the end, the kid, or when the two kids come home, the kid gets a glass of water. He looks at the water, and it's in the water. So why is the father the only one possessed? Because clearly,
Yeah.
the water has been in all of them.
Also,
So-
if the pool is well fed, where is their water coming from in the house?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like,
Why wasn't there a
Good.
bathtub scene? Why
That would
wasn't
be-
there a bathtub scene where one of them is like the wife is just trying to relax, and she hears Polo, and she opens her eyes and it's right in the bathtub with her.
Or Freddy's hand comes up from the crotch. Oh wait,
Or
that's
not
another
only
movie.
that,
That's another
a
movie.
scene where she's trying to relax, sinks into the tub, goes into the dark, comes up in the pool, and she's like, "What the
Ooh.
fuck?"
That
would've
would have been
amazing.
cool. That would have been cool. Or falls asleep in her bed and wakes up in the pool on the
That would
cover.
have been really cool.
Something like that. That would have been awesome. Well, this just proves that we would make better movies than the movies that are being made. I still believe that. I feel like if you really want good movies, give a few fucking nerds who have watched way too many movies some control. At the minimum, let people like us read the script. What do you got to lose at this point if you're going to be pumping out stuff like this? Like, it did feel like at points nobody read over the script. You know what I mean? Which is like, yeah, no, we're doing this, and like, you mean to tell me not one person was like, how does the father know the lore? Like, not one person who was in charge of that thought of that? Or did they? And Blumhouse was just like, we're already in the middle of making it, just fucking don't worry about it. Like, who knows?
We got no time to think about that. We got to film.
All right, as you said, it's time to give this bitch a review. Some hot dog reviews. Here we go.
I'll be right back. I had to do something.
Nose candy?
No, I poured it to the rim, so I had to.
Right? I promise next week we'll have a different Chicago Dog review video. I was under the weather this week, so I didn't make a new one. I will make a new one for the next episode. I promise.
It's still cool though. Don't worry about it, man.
I'll have a new one with a new song and everything. I just honestly, I have spent very little time at my desk this past week. I've been on the couch deciding whether or not now is a good time to go puke or if I should wait a few minutes. That's basically been my last week. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything.
I thought you were gonna go in a different direction. Is now a good time to die? I thought you were gonna say something like that.
That thought crossed my mind as well. I was clutching my Bible. All right. I'll start. I don't want to completely lamb-blast it with the score. But
it is out of 10.
Yeah, this one's a 5. For all the reasons we talked about, and honestly, it was a bit of a slog to get through for the reasons we've discussed. The pacing was weird. The lore wasn't there. The movie expects you to give it a lot of credit for its missing plot holes too. And because of those, yeah, it's a 5 for me.
I'll go real quick. This is a 5 as well. I mean, it's still a decent movie to watch with somebody who's not really into horror, and like something that they want to see, and they might get spooky from the little ghost shit. And there are a couple of jump scares that did make my wife jump, so I guess it's got that shit going for it.
I feel like an asshole because jump scares just don't do anything. Like, maybe that's another problem is like movies that rely on those things. I'm just like, really, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a couple times where I wanted to throw a fucking pillow at my wife because she was already covering her face and nothing was happening. I'm like, nothing's gonna happen.
It's daytime. It's a pool party.
I've already watched 20 minutes of this movie, and you're watching the same 20 minutes that I saw earlier. Nothing happens, and she's like this. She's watching like this, looking at the bottom of her fingers like this.
Maybe she was trying to see the eclipse.
But I'm giving it a 5 as well. But it is something that like I said, if you don't really like horror movies, this is not that bad of a movie to watch.
If you're looking for, oh God, what would be the best reason to watch this movie? If you're looking for a dumb, pretty mild horror movie, I'd say go with this one. It's not really violent. It's not really scary. Yeah, that's the only reason I'd say go for it is if you're just looking for something. If you're bored, you want to watch a mild horror movie with somebody, I'd go with it. Other than that, like, I'll never watch this fucking movie again.
Yeah, I won't. It's a 5.
For me, it's a 4. I give it a 4 because there were entirely too many night scenes to not have something go on, have something change or progress. There was, if you're going to introduce spirits as a main component, they need to be the component.
Yeah.
Like can't introduce spirits as a side component.
If you're gonna call a movie Night Swim, you should have something happen at night.
That's what I'm saying. There were too many scenes where like not enough was going on. I think the one scene where something happened at night that like significantly happened was when the daughter was swimming underwater,
Yeah,
playing Marco Polo with her boyfriend. That was like the most significant night scene, and it was actually the coolest night scene.
And
Like,
that scene was really only there to as like a spook. It wasn't even there as like
Yeah.
a storyline driving factor.
yeah.
yeah, it made no sense. I like slow burns, but there has to be actual progression, and this movie was entirely too long with not enough progression. Literally, the bulk of the lore given, the concept, in the last 30 minutes, like the bulk, like they crushed it all.
Yeah, this movie could have been an hour and 20
It's so
minutes,
weird.
easy.
Yeah, it was really weird. So it's a 4 for me.
All right, 554. We're gonna move on to the next one, which fortunately I felt this one was much better.
Absolutely, yeah.
this
it's a much
one-
better movie.
It's called Talk to Me, an A24 Australian movie. Essentially about a group of friends who discover that with this monkey paw, you can bridge a gap to the afterlife.
Mhm.
I gotta say, I didn't hate this one. I wasn't sure about it. I do feel that the actual monkey paw scenes, and purposely so, were weird and off-putting, not necessarily in a horror movie way. More of like in a, if I'm at this party, right, and I see somebody shake this fucking paw's hand, and their pupils grow to the size of their eyes, and the monkey paw won't
Yeah.
come off her hand for 90 seconds. Yeah, I'm not staying at that fucking party.
Yeah, no, it's the spiritual aspect in this movie is the same reason. Again, as a atheist, I don't want a Ouija board in this house. Like,
Speaking of 90
ever.
seconds, my shit just went dead for like 90 seconds. Everything was frozen. I was like, what the hell? And I'm checking internet and everything. You guys came back in.
We're still here, fortunately. Or unfortunately, however you want to look at it.
the movie's concept is, you touch the monkey paw, you say,
I let you in.
yeah, let me
Talk to me first, and
Talk
then
to me.
I let you in.
And it was cool the way they introduced that, because when the one of the main characters, a black girl you meet, touches it, like she freaks out, and they don't show you entirely why right away. And then you get a taste of what's really going on, and like, oh, that's really cool.
Well,
Like,
I actually watched this one with subtitles on as well because of when the younger brother gets taken over, because he's sitting there and he's like whispering something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this kid saying? And then I had to turn the subtitles on to realize he's saying, I'm sorry, I love you. And then he looks directly at her. I will say, this movie has one of the best uses of horrific violence that I've seen since probably Hereditary, when they popped the little girl's head off.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, the older kids are treating it kind of like a drug, like they get a high from it.
Uh-huh.
And here comes younger brother, which sister begs him not to. And boy, he gets something inside of him that wants to destroy him completely.
I think that I think the younger brother is the evilest character in this movie. And I come to that conclusion from the moment he gets possessed. Because he touches the monkey paw, he says, talk to me. And either he sees something that is so clearly not a human that his reaction should have been, let go of the paw, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Or he saw his friend's mother, knew it was his friend's mother, and still proceeded with the ritual.
Yeah.
Which am I wrong here? But the whole time it wasn't the mother; it was a demon.
Oh no, it was clearly
It was
something weird.
somebody acting. Yeah.
But I think it presented itself, and because clearly the mother died of the friend. Everybody knows it because they're all friends.
It was
So
a
if he
suicide,
saw
though,
his
right?
Friend's
Yeah.
mother, yeah. if he saw his friend's mother and still proceeded, you're an asshole, dude. Like,
Yep.
Boy, does
you're
he
a
pay
complete
for it.
asshole. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But the first one was it the girl that did it? And she says, oh, they like you, and she's looking at him
By the
and
way,
saying that the
yeah,
demons love
the-
him. Oh, that was fucking crazy.
The couple that's running this show, I honestly would have beat them to death. I would have shoved the monkey paw right up that guy's ass. Because they're just pieces of shit. Because they even show that, because after the brother, the younger one, pummels his face into every fucking object you can think of, her entire worry is them getting in trouble, and we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
You're pieces of shit.
They
And
don't
even-
care,
and
man.
and they're
I will-
so scared that they left a hand.
Well, I will say, no, they stayed there, but that was only because of the dude. Because
No, but I'm saying when they left a hand, and she ends up with it.
did
the
they
main
leave it,
character.
or did she take it?
No, I think they left it in
Hmm.
a fit
Yeah.
of like craziness, because there's a scene later on where they're at the bus stop and he hands her her backpack,
Oh,
and he
okay.
knows the hand's in there.
Which
So-
there is a bit of missed lore there when they talk to the guy on the bus. I don't know why they didn't dive a little deeper into that and go find the guy that gave the paw. Because was that him, or was that a friend of his?
That was
It
his
a friend.
brother.
It was his brother.
That was his brother that at the beginning that stabs him and then
By the
stabs
way,
himself. Yeah.
Badass opening scene.
It was.
Spoiler alert.
It's a cool opening
Yeah.
scene because it's clearly like the older brother's like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm getting my brother," and then the fucking
Yeah.
brother stabs him in the fucking chest and then kills himself.
Which is just the way it happens is awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the older brother getting stabbed was kind of like, okay. And you knew that the kid was going to stab himself, but just the way that they film it and kind of the whole, like,
The
You know what I
sound
mean?
you hear,
It's like-
fucking.
it's just a
Yeah.
very fast, immediate motion was well done. I in fact will say, I think the horror elements of this movie were pretty well done, because while there was a couple jump scares, this movie didn't rely on it. The movie relied upon the horror of what the fuck did we unleash,
What am I
And-
seeing right now?
and what is
Like-
still attached to us.
Yeah.
And the way it explains the lore in little tidbits, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Like when they're setting up the second night, is it, well, where'd you get the hand? And he's just like, well, some say it's a real medium's hand
Yeah.
encased in a shell, and they're just throwing out like fucking like little
Yeah.
tidbits. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
"That's
give
awesome."
that sort of like, could be anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is at least a good way to have some mystery about your movie.
Yeah.
Like you're telling us without telling us, you know?
They throw the whole urban legend thing at them, like, they just say they started and this is what we hear. This is what we hear. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I also thought it was cool. There's a point where again, the black girl, one of the main characters, she tries to redo the ritual because she's like, did we blow out the candle? Did we do everything correctly? And it was really interesting that the paw can work both ways. They only show it to you once, but it's really cool that you get a ghost. She meets a ghost. She's like, I need to find my friend. Maybe he's in limbo. And
We
the
have
ghost is like,
him.
yeah. The ghost invites her in, and she's pulled into like,
Well, that
their
scene's
world.
actually really awesome because it goes from like her being like trying to pull the kid back in to then she sees that he's essentially in hell being ripped apart by these things.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
They're all
that
clawing at him and shit. And
that scene gave me Event Horizon vibes.
oh yeah,
oh,
When I saw that, I was like, okay, this movie is got the balls to, when she looks in there, it's demonic, he's being tortured, and he's trapped. I liked that a lot about it. I was like, oh fuck, this kid's fucked. Like as soon as I saw that, it's like, yeah, this kid ain't coming back.
and that's what's cool. Like there's not a lot of the ghost demonic portions in the movie. There's a lot of like mind trick.
yeah.
When they present
Like the toe
those
sucking,
portions-
the toe
yeah,
sucking
Oh
scene.
when
god.
well, not only that, the where she stabs her own father. When
Oh,
they
yeah.
present-
Oh
when they
man.
present those scenes, they're
And
done
he's-
really well.
And he's
Yeah,
just
that was
now he was just finding out too. That was a fucking weird part about it,
Yeah,
That was a pretty crazy scene.
Yeah.
Like,
he just gets to her and wham.
Like, I
When-
do,
as-
I do
as
give
soon
this
as he-
movie a lot of credit for doing some shit that you wouldn't expect out of it.
As soon as he knocked on the door, I was like, okay, I know where this is going now. But at the first scene, I saw him looking at the thing, and I heard that, like the thing up there at the door. I thought they were just going to be like, she's going to wake up at some point. But it was him finding the hand and everything. And then as soon as he gets up there, that whole shit happened right
Well,
in his neck.
So at that point, I realized that her mother in the mirror is clearly a demon manipulating her.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where they were going to go with it, but as soon as he started trying to bust down the door, I'm in my head, I'm like, he's dead.
Yeah. Yes.
I do like the way they did it though, where he literally assumes the position of where the demon exactly was in her mind,
Mhm.
which I thought was, but then the weird thing is she just takes off and leaves him to bleed to death, to the point where when the daughter comes to her house, she finds him there just bleeding to death. It's like, why didn't you call a fucking ambulance for your father?
Yeah, it's
Like,
weird.
what is your problem, you goofy bitch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you
At
just...
some point she realizes what she did and still didn't. Yeah, that's super weird.
But also, I
No
feel that
course correct.
she also had the paw in her hand for 90 seconds twice, though. I think that they fucked up the first time, and it was for 90 seconds. And that's why she still kept getting the residual.
The first time they told her you went a little over.
Yeah.
And the second time, I think she did it on her own or with no
When she was by herself, yeah, she went
Yeah.
over. She completely
definitely
went over.
went over. That bitch went
Yeah.
over the end. Like,
So she doubled the double. But I do like how they summed up, her whole little situation, how they finished it up. I like that ending.
Let's talk
ending-
about that ending.
ending. Yeah. So the possession is convincing her you need to kill the brother, right? And she thinks, okay, I need to kill him. And she gets there and she sees, actually, I just realized, and it was by the end I realized that the woman the black girl keeps seeing was the woman who possessed her in the beginning. I didn't know that right away until like she was laying in the bed in the brother's position and kind of talking to her. I was like, oh shit, that's the same lady.
It's
Like,
the same.
and
It's the same lady from the toe sucking too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all, and that's why I realized it's all the same lady, but they're showing her at different like forms of like
trickery,
decomposition and trickery. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Well,
it's super
that's
creepy.
the crazy thing about that end shot. She's got him in the wheelchair. At this point, it's the demon face instead of the son. Then you've got the demon mother, and the demon face looks up and is laughing as the mother spirit is telling her, like, you need to do this so I can protect him. Clearly, at this point, you realize, oh shit, that's not the mother. This is a demon controlling everything.
Yeah.
The ending, I thought, was really well done.
Yeah.
I saw it coming as soon as they, that part happens where she goes into the roadway. You see the sister holding the brother. But the scene where she wakes up and she's kind of in like, what the fuck? And walks away from the accident and then realizes like, oh shit, I'm dead. And then she's in the hospital, doesn't see a reflection, turns around, a candle's lit, and there's a paw. And she's that. I will say the ending was cool. I really like what they did.
It reflects the nightmare she keeps having throughout the movie, where like I keep having this nightmare where I don't exist anymore. Like, and it's cool because they show that whole concept all the way up until he tells her, "I invite you in." Like,
Like, that's I think the coolest part of the ending is she's just sitting there, like holding the hand, and they're just kind of looking at her like, and she's looking at them at the same way, and then he goes, "I let you in," and it goes to black. I really like the ending to this one. I thought it was so I do have a question. Is the brother, has he been released?
Well, did he make any kind of I can't remember how it looked when the sister was holding him. I think he might have been.
When he was in the hospital before she takes him to the freeway, he's healed and he starts actually looking or healing, and he's starting to look like his normal self. So that's what I didn't fully understand was, because remember the dude on the bus, the brother says like it'll leave him eventually.
Yeah.
So did they leave him in favor of taking her, or what was going on with that?
It's
because you got the old lady. The old lady is really the spirit attached to her, but then you have the mother, like coming in, and I think that's the demon that had the kid.
And it took, okay.
Yeah, as she gets worse, he's getting better throughout the whole movie.
I'd like to think that while she becomes the next spirit, he's been released from it. I'd like to hope that, because that kid for no reason takes some serious brutality.
And then in the hospital too, he fucking starts bashing his head against the wall again.
Like I generally don't feel bad for movie characters, but that kid, man, I felt bad. I'm just sitting there like he didn't do anything wrong. He just went to a party with his sister. Like, holy fuck.
The scene at when he first gets possessed too, and he starts grabbing his own fucking eye, and he's trying
to rip it out.
Oh my god!
I will say once again, Big Sis is the hero in my he goes that last where he goes to slam his head on the counter, and she puts her hand in front of it.
Hand in there, yeah.
Like the one connection both of these movies have, besides being a horror movie, is the Big Sis really is the fucking hero of the day on this one. And the same thing with Night Swim.
Yep.
No, I dug this movie quite a bit. I appreciated its brutality. I appreciated the mystery it builds, and the ending, man. I enjoyed the ending. I thought it was a good, like, one of those endings where if you saw it in the theaters, you're going, oh, fuck.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Can you imagine being in the theater, pitch black, and you see the candle glow on screen, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And you know what I mean? And you realize, like, looks like she's going to be on the other end now. Yeah. I thought they did a really good job with. There's some issues, not anything crazy, but
it made its way from Australia to Greece, though. That was pretty crazy.
What do you mean?
That's at the end. Those guys were Greek. There was
so
it was all the way in Greece.
I guess the whole point is, the
it's like Jumanji.
That plane of existence doesn't know regions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like Jumanji. Once you throw it away, it finds its way someplace else.
No, but they even showcase that in that montage you're doing, where she's taken over and she's singing that French song.
Yeah.
So they even do kind of showcase that, like, there really aren't any boundaries for what souls are going to be. We're going to be told on this one, which I thought was also a cool concept. Like, there's a lot of movies that, there's a lot of American horror movies that stick with America. I feel like if this was an American movie, you may not have had the international flavor of that sort of shit, which I appreciated, to be honest with you. And I don't mind Australian either. I just really hated the fucking woman, the girl that was like the co-leader of everything.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't stand her either. What made it even worse is that as soon as something goes wrong, she buckled immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, kidding me. Then when even the bigger dude, the bigger black guy,
the Haka guy,
like shit goes sour. They come up with a plan that maybe this is, and then both of them are like, all right, here's the hand. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like
they were like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, like
one of the scenes that I liked that showed the demonic part of it more, I feel, than others, is when her boyfriend, the older daughter's boyfriend, does it, and he looks at her and he's just like, it makes him soft when you touch him.
Yeah.
He finds you disgusting. Yeah. That was one of those things, like, okay.
Then he starts making out with the dog.
Now we're getting into the point of these are demons. Yeah. These aren't just spirits. You've opened a channel to something else, which I thought was smart, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that poor guy making out with the fucking dog.
If they were smart kids, as soon as that happened, they would have been like, nah, I'm not doing this shit ever again.
Yeah.
I also like that they didn't go with a particular demon. Usually it's like Pazuzu or
it's one that keeps doing it.
Talk to me in the last one we watched, the
Night Swim.
No, not Night Swim. The really good one we watched last time.
The Midnight with the Devil or Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. I forgot what demon, because that demon had a name too. It wasn't the devil. It was.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, but it was a specific
They
sort of.
always
that one got re-released.
Pick one, and this one not only didn't pick one, but it didn't tell you what it was.
It was almost like they wanted to keep it like you're not going to know the spirit because these kids don't know the spirit.
Yeah,
which is I think a good device to keep that mystery building of like, do we get a demon? Do we get a nice person? You know, like, and they show that once again, the montage of she's taken over by a French woman that's singing. He's taken over by an angry, sexual deviant demon. Mm-hmm. Like there is a fairly decent variety, even though it is a montage shot of what they show comes out. The only thing I wish you would have seen is at the end, it not just being her. Like, can you imagine if if she sits down,
everybody's around her?
Yeah, before she grabs the monkey paw, you get like a flash of all these entities standing behind her.
Like like the movie Ghost when they're all sitting there waiting to fucking possess fucking Goldie Hawn or Whoopi Goldberg.
Fuck Whoopi Goldberg. The only thing I'm ever going to say about Whoopi Goldberg. Fuck her.
She did a pretty good job in the movie Ghost.
Yeah, she should do a good job at walking in front of a bus.
That was before her political views took over.
No, just in general. She's always been annoying. And then, you know, I mean, you put anybody on The View and I think I'm automatically going to fucking hate them. Let's be real. I mean, can anybody watch The View for more than 10 minutes and tell me you're not pissed off? Come on.
I don't watch The View unless somebody mistakenly leaves the channel on.
That's how lazy you are?
No, like if it shows up and I see that it's on, then I change it.
Yeah, no.
So if it mistakenly gets left on, then I change it.
Like, yeah, her political views are the views of a dullard, don't get me wrong. But I've never liked Whoopi Goldberg. What was that one movie I didn't hate with her and Ted Danson? It was while they were dating. I don't know. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
But I know, but she made one. She made one called Jumping Jack Flash, which I really loved when I was a kid.
No, it's a different one. That's the thing is I can't think of a movie that Whoopi Goldberg is in that you know what I mean? But
she was in a movie with what's his name? Bobcat. And that's what it was called, Jumping Jack Flash.
Yeah, I still walk in front of a bus, Whoopi.
I think there's any movie I like with her in it as a main character.
I'm trying to think.
Sister Act? No, I know that's not what you're talking about, Matt, but I'm just telling Giovanni.
No, I can't even remember what the fucking movie with her and Ted Danson was about, to be honest with you.
Was it back in like the 90s, though?
It would have been either late 80s or early 90s. It was one of those, I think, romantic comedy, Made in America.
Oh, okay.
Young woman discovers that her father was a sperm donor, and if that weren't bad enough... Wow, what a fucked up description. If that weren't bad enough, he's white! Oh, Jesus! He's white? Yeah, that's
1993.
That's probably the only movie I can think of that I've ever seen with her in there where I didn't hate.
Oh, it's got Jennifer
Bogus.
Tilly in it.
What the hell is Bogus?
Oh, is that the one with the French dude, the big French dude?
Oh yeah, Gerard Depardieu. Now he's fucking a wreck. But Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, Gerard Depardieu.
Haley Joel Osment. Whoopi Goldberg. They all have to be read in French.
How do you say?
What is Bogus about? Does it have a terrible description like the last one? And to make matters worse, he's white.
I think he was like a made up, like a make believe character. Bogus.
Recently orphaned, a young boy is taken by his godmother, who is shocked to realize that she can see the boy's imaginary friend, a flamboyant French magician named Bogus. Once again, it's got to be talked about. For one thing, I don't think Gerard Depardieu can actually speak English, so everything that he says has to be in a French accent. It's almost like, you guys remember the movie Kiss of the Dragon, where it's the same French guy that was in The Patriot, where he's just like, "There's a time for diplomacy and a time for action. Now is the time for action. No matter what he's in, I'm always going to hear that. He could be doing a pitch perfect American accent, and I will forever only hear that line. The same thing with, I mean, hell, even in The Patriot, he's got that strong French accent.
Yep.
I had 2 daughters. You know, like it's, but I
Did
actually
he
like
open a little box and go?
in Kiss of the Dragon, he does coke for sure.
Yeah,
Have we reviewed that?
never. I've never seen it myself, so no.
Fuck. We got to figure out that one in the schedule because it's a badass movie. That, in my opinion, Jet Li's best movie.
Got to do a couple of Jet Li movies. I don't think we've ever did any Jet Li movies.
No, I don't think we've ever
We
done
haven't
any.
done a ton of martial arts besides like the Raid. Here comes or the Night Comes for Us.
We did Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to do a martial arts day.
we need to do a Samurai
and-
Sunday fucking
I
special.
think we did Rumble in the Bronx
Friday.
and Drunken Master.
Did you see that that old Seven Samurai is getting a 4K restoration?
Oh, nice.
That one I'm very interested in. That movie's awesome. That one would be good paired well with, what is it, 13 Warriors?
13 Warriors. My favorite classic kung fu movie is like the I think it's called The Seven Deadly Venoms.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love that movie.
Oh, okay. Are we assholes enough to do a couple serious martial arts movies and Kung Pao Enter the Fist?
Oh, that's amazing. I love
What would be the couple of serious ones?
Well, I think Kiss of the Dragon would be a good, since we've never done it. I do find that to be Jet Li's best movie. Do we go cliche and pick a Jackie Chan one? Do we pick another Jet Li? I mean, Jet Li's got, if you're going American, he's got Unleashed was a good one. The One, cheesy, but still not a bad movie. You can go, what was that other one's really good before he broke out was Black Mask.
Yeah, there's one that he did when he was still not discovered in the U.S. was called Tai Chi Master, and I wish I could find that somewhere.
Oh, Tai
You know
Chi
what-
Master's a good one.
You know
It's
what
got-
movie
it's
I
got-
wish I could find is Hard Boiled.
It's got Michelle Yao on it too. I like that one.
Mhm.
Oh shit! Okay, it's
Yeah,
$10
Titanic
on
is great.
Amazon for Hard Boil. You don't say, do you? Hard Boil. Have you ever seen Hard Boiled? Fucking John
Never.
Woo, Chow Yun Fat.
Oh yeah. Hard boiled. Yeah.
Yeah,
I probably saw
movie-
bits and pieces of it. I don't know.
That movie's responsible for a lot of badass '90s movie gunplay.
Yeah.
Let me see if you could find it on other than Amazon. Because is it just me, or I'm not a big fan of buying movies digitally on Amazon? I don't know. Or you can go to YouTube and watch the whole movie.
There you go.
How sad. Anyway, we'll figure that one out. But should I play the hot dog song for them again? Should I subject them to it?
Go for it.
Alex, give me a thumbs up. Sorry, guys.
Show me your cheek, now go reveal. I want baby, give me those. Shake down on my feels. Whip out the shit out the door. Shot me in the face with your. Come on, baby, give me those. Shake down on the reveals. Whip out the shit out the door. Shot me in the face with your. Come on, baby, give me yours.
You know, so the Game of Thrones came out yesterday. Still have to watch it.
All right, you're welcome for that. So I got to be honest. The House of whatever it is, Jen and I
House of
Big-
Thrones.
binge watched all of Game of Thrones together because she had never watched it.
Uh-huh.
And then about a week later, the spin-off series came out. We watched the first 2 episodes and were burnt out and found them boring. And we have not watched any more of it. So we have to revisit the House of
The,
whatever it's
like
House of Dragons.
season one
I think I got
of
3 more
Game of Thrones,
episodes.
House of Dragons also starts off slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually read an article about basically like, season 2 will have a faster pace. Because, yeah, the problem was we literally went directly from, watching what 8 or 10 seasons, whatever Game of Thrones was. And, you know, with that show, by the end of it, there's so much shit that goes on. When we jumped over to House of Dragons, it was very slow. And it was like
starting
shit.
over. It was like
Yeah,
starting
a little-
over.
a little
Well,
bit.
essentially, you are starting over because you start from the beginning.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that the show is slow as fuck. I mean, from what I've read, the entire first season isn't very fast.
No, not at all. It's has pace
Yeah.
issues.
I think I have like 3 more episodes to finish of the first season.
Yeah, Jen and I will have to if we ever get out of fucking autistic scientist mode, we'll have to jump. I'm sorry, nobody can tell me otherwise. Prove to me that Sheldon isn't fucking Asperger's, autism, something. Prove to me that Blossom in that show isn't on the same fucking spectrum. I'm sure there's been people in behavioral science that have watched that and have like a little notepad with like check marks of every, you know what I mean? What's up, KG? Check marks of everything they diagnose on people, and they're like, yeah, Sheldon fits the bill on everything. Which I will say, I do like Sheldon in the show, but then they introduced Blossom as his girlfriend, and just, you know, those scenes in The Office that are almost too hard to watch because of Michael Scott.
Yeah.
That's what Blossom brings to
Well,
it for me, at least in this first.
I don't want to
season
ruin
she's in.
anything. I don't want to ruin anything for you for later. I don't want to ruin anything for Jen either. So that's why I'm not saying much. But I get what you're saying though.
I mean,
I watched The Office as well. So
you have Leonard, who is fundamentally the most normal. Then you've got Horowitz, who's a pervy Jewish dude. And then you've got Raj, who's a pervy Indian guy. Then you've got Sheldon, who's autism embodied. And then you introduce Blossom, who is female Sheldon.
you forgot Penny.
Well, Penny's a whore. Not really much to say about Penny. Although we did get to the episode where David Carradine's brother, who plays her father, shows up, and she told him that Leonard and her was still together. And then it comes out that they're not together, and he begs Leonard to give her another shot. I really do hope those two get back together at some point in the fucking show, because honestly, the back and forth is getting annoying.
Did they introduce her mom yet or no?
Not yet, no.
You're gonna love it when you see who her mom is. So
I will say the show could use more of Sheldon's mom. I think Laurie Metcalf, it's her best role.
Well, you're only in the 3rd season, so you'll see.
I know I've got 47 more.
I think there's only 12.
Only? You can't say only 12 when it's 24 episodes a fucking season.
And then you have 8 episodes or 8 seasons of Young Sheldon or some shit like that.
Yeah, at least Young Sheldon seems to be a bit of a break.
Seasons?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
it
realize
just
that either.
ended.
And then I saw the final season was on sale, and I'm like, damn, that show was on for that long? Holy
Well,
fuck.
it started like with like 3 more years left of Big Bang. I think it started then.
Well, then there's a theory that Leonard's dead, because apparently in Young Sheldon has a kid. They name him Leonard. Galecki, the actor who plays Leonard, is one of the only people to not do a voiceover for the narration in Young Sheldon.
Huh.
And so there's a fan theory that he's actually dead. Then he responded with, gee, I hope not, considering I was the one that wanted to keep the show running and Jim Parsons didn't.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to keep the show running? How many millions are you making per year?
They were making fucking millions of dollars per fucking episode.
Like, that's the thing is, like,
Like,
I would have
Parsons
wanted
wanted
to
more.
milk that fucking cow
Parsons
too.
wanted to branch out. He wanted to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
done-
but you
he's-
can't do other stuff.
He's
Like,
done
You're
so many things
typecasted. You're
since.
typecasted. You're stuck. He did one movie since then, and this is 5 years now that the show's been over, and he's only done one movie.
He's got another one coming out where he plays a gay guy, and it's a relationship
It's like a
drama.
horror
I think.
movie. I thought it was a horror.
No, it's already happened. I think
Oh,
that's
is
the one
that
that's already
right?
happened. Yeah.
Well, no, I thought he had 2 because there was one where it was a comedy, and then there's one where it's a horror. I think it's a horror movie.
Really?
I think so.
Seeing him in a horror movie would be interesting.
Let's
I mean, I
see.
would watch it just for the. I'd watch a horror movie starring him just to see the difference.
Because I think he's in a romance comedy, but I thought there was one where he played the boyfriend, or the boyfriend he meets. It turns out is not who he says he is.
Spoiler
Really?
alert is the only thing he has that he done in 2022.
Story of Michael Ausiello and Kit Cowan's relationship, which takes a tragic turn when Cowan is diagnosed with terminal. No, that's going to be a. We're going to live the rest of your life like it's the last of your days, because it is.
It's basically a walk to remember, but it's all penis. That's all it is.
Oh, God, A Walk to Remember. Jen likes that movie.
I do too.
All right, there is one called Visions. But I don't know if this is starring him or if he's just a side character, because it says he plays
Dr.
a
Matheson.
doctor. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So, but the show ended in
I thought it was in a horror one.
what is it?
I actually would like to see him as the main star in a horror movie, because he's
Yeah,
not
so
a
this-
bad actor.
What's his future?
But you're right, though. Can he ever play anybody that isn't Sheldon without the audience going,
But they-
Sheldon, we see you?
They could always revisit the show. They can absolutely always revisit the show.
Yeah. Surprised you haven't seen that, because even the girl who plays Penny had her own little show that just I don't know if it went more than one.
She actually did 2 seasons, 2 series, 2 different series. One where she was a stewardess that some kind of killing bullshit, and another one where she's a pregnant mom with her husband, and they witnessed a murder. They covered up a murder or some shit. So she had 2 different TV shows.
Yeah, the one I know of was the
stewardess one?
The stewardess one, yeah. That
Yeah.
one's I think on HBO, and it's like a recommended.
Yeah. And then her newest one where she was pregnant, and she was actually pregnant during the time of the filming, so that's why they did it that way. And it's covering up some kind of murder or some shit.
The Flight Attendant got 16 episodes. I don't know which one. Based on a true story?
Yeah, they started a podcast or some shit.
Oh yeah, but that's a comedy.
Yeah. But I mean, she still did more work than everybody else did since the show ended.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say, like, it's hard to say that when a co-star is Johnny Galecki, who's like, yeah, I've been acting since before you were born.
Yeah.
Because you would have to presume she's younger than him, right? Because Galecki's not young.
Shit, he was
Griswold.
Yeah, that's
He was
right.
Russ.
He was
see how-
Christmas Story
Let's see
Rusty.
how old he is. Wait, does IMDb give their fucking age? I don't even remember.
It'll say their birthday.
They changed the way IMDb works now. I don't like the new layout. Born in 75. Okay. Maybe
So he's
Katie
49.
Who's not as old. Or let's see. Yeah, see, she's a decade younger than him. She was born in 85. And he was acting by 10. So, he's been doing work for longer than she's been alive. All right, so we did play the video. Big Bang Theory rant over. Giovanni, what do you give Talk to Me?
I really did enjoy this movie. The only problem I had with it is even the people who survive and the people who go through the hardest of it, I feel like there's no likable characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nobody I can really attach to in the movie.
Yeah, besides maybe the mother.
The sister?
The mother
Dude,
in
the
this.
mother was badass. In this movie.
What was she in? I recognized
The mother?
her. Yeah.
She was in the Sabrina show for Netflix.
No.
She was Aunt Zelda. She was in some other stuff too.
Was she in? No, it's not. It can't be this. I was just saying she looks like the woman from Red Dragon, but it's not her. Go on, Giovanni.
Yeah, she was badass in this movie. but I can't even though I felt sorry for the brother, I can't attach to really anybody in this movie, regardless of what they were going through. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the violence in the movie. I love possession movies and hate possession movies at the same time. Again, even though I'm an atheist, possession movies creep me the fuck out. But I love the concept they went with. I love the way this movie ended. I love the liberties they took with when being possessed, what they showed, the way the kids utilized the monkey paw. I loved all of it. I really did.
Makes me laugh every time I hear monkey paw because I started fucking around calling it monkey paw.
That's I would give this
the
a solid
paw.
7.5 for me. I would absolutely watch this movie again. I would introduce it to anybody who wants to kind of dive into possession movies. And the reason I say that is I know it's a bit on the gory side, but that's why I was like, yeah, it's a really good possession movie. You should watch it. And then when those scenes pop in, have like, oh shit, like.
See,
that's-
I agree with you on that, Rum. Jen says that Kaylee Kaki is a big animal activist. I agree with you in the point of like, if I wanted to throw on a horror movie that I knew would probably unsettle somebody, this would be a good one.
It has to be really well.
The mom was in Lord of the Rings. She was Arwen.
Yeah, she's actually, if you look at her
Oh,
IMDb,
yeah.
she's
she
been
was
in a
also
bunch
in-
of shit.
She was also in Lock and Key. She was the mom in the show.
Never watched
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Lock and Key started out good, but then it
I mean,
fell off.
her IMDb is nothing to fuck around with either. She's
yeah,
she
it's,
was
it's
she
pretty,
was in
it's pretty
she was in
extensive.
24, the legacy. She was the mother in War of the Worlds.
She was in
Yep,
the,
she was. She was.
Yeah, she's got a pretty heavy IMDb behind her. She's probably the
She was
biggest
in-
star that movie had.
she was in What Lies Beneath. Close Your Eyes.
The
Danny
13th
Deck Chair, which is a
floor.
fucking a very popular movie
Well,
for people
she
that
go-
didn't really watch movies.
She goes back to the late 80s in her acting.
Yeah, she's been
Light
around
of
a
the-
while.
Light of the Phoenix is a movie I don't think enough people saw when it came out.
But I think this is the original though, isn't it?
No, the one with what's his
Oh,
face?
she was in the remake. Okay.
Quaid. What do you give it, Alex?
Quaid. I give it Quaid. This one I actually really did like it. Giovanni, what'd you say? I'm gonna go 9 though.
I went 7.5.
7.5.
Liberties I had problems with, but I enjoyed the movie.
I'm gonna give it a 9 because it kept me enthralled in the whole time, so it didn't like fucking lose me. I didn't get fucking like I didn't fucking like wean away from the story. I actually was involved in the story the whole time. I liked how it all went out. The creepiness with the whole fucking eyes, like Matt said about when your eyes turn black. If I was there present, I would have been like, "Fuck!" You know what? As soon as she woke up, I would have been out, and I wouldn't have talked to that girl ever again.
Dude,
See,
as they explain what the paw does, I've been like, all right, guys, take care.
Yeah,
Have a
that-
nice one.
that's
Good
why
luck with that.
That's one of the main reasons I'm with Giovanni in the 7.5. Just the pure lack of logic of anybody in that fucking room. That, like, as soon as I saw this, eyes black, and then they look all good. Bye.
Well,
I'm going to go get a hot dog, and I'm going home.
even if you stay for the first one. Dude, when she's looking at the little boy and she's like, he's behind you, he's gonna
They
split
like
you
you.
right down the middle.
Right?
I'm like, nope. The door opening, I would have been like, fuck this.
If I was that
Yeah.
boy, I would have been like, I'm never coming to these things again. Fuck you, sister. I don't know who
Yeah.
your friends are. They're fucking crazy.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
out.
back to my room. I'm watching Rick and Morty. Fuck
I'm gonna
you.
go smoke
I'm
some
out.
fake cigarettes with my friend.
Yeah.
My wife would be calling me like, where are you? Oh, I'm at a church. Did you know they do midnight mass near us?
Yeah, right.
What are you
Yeah.
doing at a church? Just
I'm
dabbling.
I'm sitting in the
Well-
holy water, just
Yeah.
dabbling around in it.
You know, I was sitting there and I was at a friend's house and well, long story short, I thought maybe I should explore some options because I've seen some shit tonight.
I just
And,
baptized myself. If you would like to know,
Yeah, if in fact, I'm going to be coming here every Sunday for a while, taking a bath in the holy water mainly. Yeah,
I'll be
no,
here every
dude.
Sunday through Monday from 7 to 8.
Yeah, there's no fucking way I would have been at that party as one of the people, saw it happen, and been like, oh, that looks like fun.
Nah.
Nah, dude. This is how it would have happened. Grabs the paw. Head
Talk to
swings
me.
back. Head comes, and then there's the guy that isn't breathing. And they're like, he's choking.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait for it. Wait for it.
Yeah, no.
And
fuck that girl,
okay.
dude.
I would have watched that. And before the guy started breathing again, my car would be starting. I'm out. I hope there's a burger joint open late because I need a cheeseburger and a rosary now. Like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm not coming to these parties anymore. I'm going to resubscribe to Netflix, stay home on the weekends. Like, I'm done. Yeah, for me, it's a 7.5 simply because
And then-
nobody in the movie has an ounce of logic except for the older sister.
And then Matt finds himself standing in front of the door, getting ready to open it with all the voices in his head.
You tell me how I go from getting a
Shit.
hot dog or hamburger to being a fucking ghost then. Because I tell you right now, I'm not going to be a ghost from sitting in that fucking room. Ain't happening. Hey, do you have a pool? I'd like to take a night swim because I'm not sitting in this fucking room. Yeah, nah, dude. Like, and that's why I said I don't think there's these parties happen in real life. Like, and the one caveat I made, maybe in the 70s, because people didn't have shit else to do besides drink and fuck. So there was probably actual parties that you went to, and it's like, oh, we're gonna play with a Ouija board. Hee 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 hee. We'll be in
Plus, I
my
believe Hasbro made the Ouija board a board game.
Yeah.
They just printed them and set them off into the world.
Yeah, that I could see happening. In the modern age, these parties don't happen except in movies. Let's be fucking real. Like, even if it was just a Ouija board, right? Are there really that many kids that are out there that A, aren't on their phones enough to give the Ouija board enough attention? But beyond that, there's enough of them that are willing to just sit in a room and communicate with spirits? And then, like, the whole thing with the monkey paw that I saw was like, they were getting high. Because after the spirit left you, they all had that same sort of, like, they were stoned.
Yeah, and you just see him drinking a lot too and smoking. Except for
how-
that one last party, they weren't drinking.
You know how you get high? Instead of speaking with spirits? You smoke some weed. Maybe a little coke. You don't need to fucking shake the hand of a paw. Fuck out of here. Yeah, no. 7.5 for me just because, like, even if I was there, I'm in the back of the room going, now, fuck you. I'm out. Nope. And then my little brother's there, and they're like, no, you should. I'm like, you get in the fucking car. And if he gives me shit, I slap him. And I go, get in the car unless you want another
As an
one.
older sibling, she should have taken him out from the beginning.
Well,
when
she
she
should have
was
never
leaving.
brought him along.
When she left, she should have took him with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you
no,
shouldn't have left him unsupervised with people that you know.
just like to me, it would be no different than I'm at the party, I leave the room and I come back and he's smoking a blunt.
Yeah.
You slap that shit out of his fucking mouth, get in the car,
You
or I'm
take
gonna
it away
beat the
from
shit
him.
out of you.
You slap him in the back of the head, and then while he's walking out,
Yeah, you think you're cool? You think you're cool? You think you're cool?
smack
Get
him in
the
the back of the
fucking
head
car.
a couple times.
Whose is this? Whose is this? Get in the fucking car.
This is mine now. No,
There you
this
go.
is mine now.
Yeah. You see this?
Tax.
This is the
your
price
tax.
you pay for fucking with my brother. Later, fuckfaces. Yeah, nah, dude. And like, she was
You
the
gotta
only
pay
one.
the tax.
She didn't do it either, did she?
No,
No, the first one and the second one.
her
She doesn't-
boyfriend did it.
Her boy. Yeah, she doesn't ever do it.
Well,
Good.
you know what though? Honestly, to say about the boyfriend, he actually is loyal to her. He never really, because like when he woke up with his foot down her throat, he was like, "What the fuck is your problem?"
Yeah,
That's-
I can also understand her because that was his ex.
Yeah,
Is he gay or is he just not in love with the sister?
yeah, I know
think
because
he
he
just
hasn't
likes
kissed her
her.
yet. He hasn't kissed her yet either.
I still that scene is an amazing scene of demonic possession where he just looks
Yeah.
at her and he's like, "You disgust him. When you touch him, he goes soft." That to me is just like, whew, that's
And then he proceeds to hump the floor.
well, even the bitch who's like running it is like, "Oh, this demon's a cunt." It's like, you think? Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, but it's a 7.5.
I tell you what, though.
largely because the lack of logic.
But I tell you what, though, man. Watching a movie with the Australian accent and that you can actually understand, I fucking love it. It was a fucking good choice for like the cast and everything.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I think it is weird because you don't see a lot of Australian horror movies either, do you?
No, but sometimes when you watch an Australian movie, their accent is so fucking thick or so hard
I've
that
never
you
had
can't
a problem
understand.
with the Australian
Right?
accent though.
I think it's because it's Cockney, no?
It's well, the problem with the Australian accent, it's a mix of like British Cockney with then you had the Aborigines come in.
Yeah,
And it's kind of a mix of, but it's not one that I've ever really had a problem with. And you do have varying degrees too, if you notice. Like the most famous is you've got Steve Irwin, or was it Paul Hogan, Dundee?
yeah.
And then, but these people's accents were very not accentuated. They're just kind of that's just how
I think
they
it was
talk.
more modernized. I think it was more modernized. That's what it was.
I'd have to imagine that not every Australian walks around talking like this. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of that. I'm sure was put on. I'm sure Steve Irwin.
If they live in the bush, it's like that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it was a prison. But you'd have to imagine even a guy like Steve Irwin didn't talk like that 24/7.
He did it for the TV. Yeah.
You know, like that was probably his accent, but it was his stage accent as well, just as much.
Because even his kids talk, and they don't sound anything like that, and they grew up with him first.
They
You know,
don't. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
sound anything like that.
Yeah, they kept the accents very grounded, which I think was a necessity if you wanted this movie to be taken seriously.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. We'll be back next week with another round of movies.
We doing heavyweights?
I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure
Or
that out.
under
We've
pairs.
got options. Yeah, I think next week we might do the under pairs troll
And
hunter.
Troll Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do
So
another.
something for everybody to look forward to.
We'll do another
and watch
monster
'em.
movie mash, and then
After
I'd
that,
like-
I'd like to explore the Kung Fu's. 'cause
yeah,
Natsu
I
brought
think
it
the
up.
the next couple
Like,
weeks after that are going to be dedicated to heavyweights / Major Pain and Kung Fu.
Oh, I just said
movies.
Major League at first. Okay.
Why would I pair those two?
You earlier when we were off, you said heavyweights and Major League, and then when you said it at first, you said Major Pain, and then when you actually said it verbally, you said Major League.
I saw a thing that people's theory is Ben Stiller from Heavyweights is
Yeah.
the same character in
From
Dodgeball.
from 3 different movies too.
Yeah, Heavyweights, Dodgeball, and what was the other one?
Adam Sandler. Fuck. It's the one where he takes care of like the old lady.
Oh yeah, so basically the theory is he has his psychotic break at the end of Heavyweights, ends up working in a nursing home, and that's when he is in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And
there you
then his father dies, leaves him all the money. So
And
he
the names are the same.
Well, no, he changes his name because it's not the same name.
No. I'm saying they say the name is the same when they mention who he is.
But the global gym symbol is very similar to the Tony Perkins symbol.
Uh-huh.
So the running theory is he's been the same guy throughout all 3 movies that has just changed his name and shit, and which I doubt is fucking true. But wouldn't it be funny if like Stiller's like, all right, you got me.
Well, they did the same thing with what's his name, Pal from Die Hard. They're saying that his character is Winslow from Family Matters,
Oh,
and the kid that he killed in Die Hard is Urkel when he took over the show, when he started the show, and the kid that shows up is Urkel, and he's annoying the shit out of him, and that's his hell for the rest of his life. Where Urkel keeps coming back to him because he shot and killed him on accident or some shit.
that one's a larger stretch than the Ben Stiller one. I'm going to be honest with you.
But they talk about it a lot. That he said that he's picking up the Twinkies for his wife,
Right,
but
wife, yeah.
Pal doesn't have a fucking wedding ring, and that's why they said it that it's all.
I'd have to go back and his name is not Pal.
Well, that's what he calls him.
It's
He's like, welcome to
literally
the party,
Al.
pal.
No, he says that to the other cops. His name isn't it Al?
I thought he says, "Welcome to the party, pal."
When he drops it on his car, sure.
Yeah.
But it's not his fucking name. I feel like it might be Al, though. What is his fucking name? Sergeant Al. So it's Al Powell is his actual name in Die Hard. I thought it was Al.
But but he does say, "I'm going to call you pal," because he doesn't want to call him by his name.
Now I gotta watch Die Hard again. Great.
Merry Christmas in July. Oh wait, that's
The
next
only
one.
one I can't remember is 2. I blank on 2.
So
That's
two
the
is a
snowy
weird one because it's not directed by McTiernan. It's technically more violent, but it's also a dumber movie.
Is it 3 is the one a lot of people remember, right?
3 is amazing. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
That movie, dude, the way that movie begins, where it's that song and it's like, hot times, summer in the city, and the song's playing and then a fucking explosion happens. Die Hard 1 and 3, in my opinion, are the same level of awesome.
Yeah. They're the 2 most memorable ones.
Yeah, number 2, number 2 is interesting because it's one of your first glances you get as Robert Patrick as like a nameless henchman. It's also got William Sandler practicing Tai Chi naked for some fucking reason in it. I don't know. It was a weird movie, not nearly as good as the other one, not nearly as good as number 1 or 2. But that's the thing is number 1 was McTiernan. I don't know who directed number 2, but number 3 was McTiernan again. He came back for that.
Rennie Harlan
Was
was
that the
number
director
2.
of number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
I don't know his name, but I'm sure he directed some 80s action movies that weren't terrible. Usually those guys have some okay movies under their belt, and then they take on a franchise that's known. And obviously, you're not going to do as well with that.
He did Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger is not a terrible movie, although John Lithgow as a villain makes no sense.
He did Blast from the Past.
Hey, that movie's fucking awesome.
But no, I'm sorry. He was a producer. Let's get to directors. He did
Producers
45
don't
movies
matter.
as a director. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the thing is he's probably got some good ones under his belt. It's just, you're taking on Die Hard and you're taking it from Nakatomi Plaza to an airport. Essentially is where the entire movie takes place. So it's like you have a shootout in baggage claim. You have a shootout in the back. You have a shootout on the tarmac. It is one of those movies that starts the trend. And that's the weird thing is Die Hard 1, McClane is vulnerable. He's a man. Die Hard 2, he's kind of that invincible man. You know, I'm a superhero. And then you bring back Die Hard 3 and he's an alcoholic, beat up piece of shit, which is really what McClane should have been the whole fucking time.
He did 12 rounds with John Cena.
Yeah, you're not giving me any hope for him at this point.
He did. Where was that other one that you know? Deep Blue Sea. He was the director of Deep Blue Sea. Exorcist: The Beginning.
The
Covenant?
We've seen a while. The Covenant isn't that boy band movie?
He did. I don't know. He did 4 episodes of Burn Notice.
Out of fucking 7 million they made.
Yeah, and then he did a lot of stuff for the USA Network. A combined of 6 episodes there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, it's been fun. Thank you for joining us. As always, we appreciate it. We will see you guys next week. We're going to be doing, I think the movie's called what? Under Paris?
Under Paris and Troll Hunter.
Under Paris, and then the other one we'll be doing with it is Troll Hunter. And then we have to decide if the week after we want to do Kung Fu. We have to do, like, I think Kiss of the Dragon, since we haven't reviewed it, needs to be on there. Other than that, I'm kind of, and I was thinking we do a serious Kung Fu episode, and then we do like a Kung Pao, oh God, what's that other one? Fuck. Shit, there was Kung Pao Under the Fist, and then there was that other, not Kung Pao Chicken, although it doesn't sound bad right now.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist and Kung Fu Hustle would be really
Yes,
good.
yes, Kung Fu Hustle.
Okay.
That's the one I was thinking of. That's
just
what
saw
I'm
that
like.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah,
I saw
I
it
think,
like last year.
yeah,
I'll
I
watch it
think we
again.
do a serious martial arts one where we, I tell you what, each one of us picks one. How about that? My
We could even do
choice,
Shaolin soccer.
Kiss of the Dragon.
Kung Fu Hustle was mine.
No. A serious martial
serious.
arts one where we each pick a movie, and then we'll do the comedy one with Kung Fu Hustle and Kung Pao.
I do have a list that I started putting in all my my saves and shit. So I got to look through ones that are actually streaming.
I'm going to
places
make it
and stuff.
easy since we've never reviewed it. I think we need to review Kiss of the Dragon. I honestly think that's one of the. It's not even an American movie, but that's one of the best movies Jet Li's ever made.
That's not the one that has Rebecca Romaine or some shit like that in there, is it?
No, it is the one. It's got not Rebecca Romaine.
But yeah, it's got some white actress that I can't remember. her
Yeah.
name.
Well, the whole concept is he's a Chinese cop, essentially, detective that gets brought over because there's like a Chinese chancellor that comes over into Paris, and they set up this Chinese chancellor to murder him. And they go to pin it on Jet Li. And his whole thing is trying to prove his
Bridget
innocence.
Fonda. Okay.
Yeah, Bridget Fonda, which she's the weakest part of the movie. I'm not going to lie. You could skip through her scenes, a lot of nothingness. But that movie, I mean, if you haven't seen Kiss of the Dragon, I know you haven't, Alex. You've seen it, right, Giovanni?
Mhm.
Then back me up on this one. Kiss of the Dragon is a little bit rougher than you would think it is. Like, it's a pretty rough rated R movie.
Yeah,
Considering
it's
it was a Jet Li movie, it's a violent movie, not gore, but the martial arts. There's no punches pulled, and it's a rough, violent movie.
It's weird how you saying that she doesn't have much to do, because before that she did Point of No Return, where she actually did an action movie where she was the lead.
Okay,
Like
let me elaborate. She's a whore in the movie.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have her daughter because the corrupt French policeman has her.
Okay, so I do remember seeing that movie.
So
then.
the bulk of her scenes is her crying about not having her daughter.
Yeah. So the character wasn't written right for her. Yeah.
I mean, what is Bridget Fonda? I mean, I know her. I know she's a name, but what the fuck does that mean? The only thing.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. She's done other stuff before that.
I didn't mind her, but I mean, I guess she's better than Jodie Foster. Although most people, I don't like Jodie Foster, except in Panic Room. Jodie Foster.
She was an Army of Darkness.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week. Try not to get into too much trouble, just a little bit. And
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to your fathers, yes. And it's not a real holiday though. Mothers are the only ones that are.
My dad can go suck it. So
it's a fair point. Happy Father's Day to you and your father, Alex.
Thank you.
We were going to go out to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
And my dad out of nowhere was just like, let's just order something nice Sunday.
Oh, he changed his mind. Oh.
He likes the Cheesecake Factory. So I was like, let's go there. And he's like, all right. And then, I think part of it's my fault because I was sick this past week. And anytime I'm sick, I think it rattles him a little bit. I don't know. That's because I've almost died a couple times. So I'll give him credit for that. All right, everybody.
Your fucking fault.
It's all my fault. I ruined the first Father's Day by being born. And now I'm ruining yet another one.
Son of a bitch.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.